Okay, so here's what I think has happened. I was talking to one AI agent, and I asked them a question, and that agent couldn't do that for me. And so I asked to talk to a live agent, and they've connected me with Joy. But she said she was going to try to do something, and I said thank you, and she replied with this, and this is why I think I may be speaking to just a higher model AI. It is I.
Uh-huh.
It is I who should be more appreciative of you for your kindness, patience, and understanding.
Mm. Either you have an Indonesian working
Well,
on your stuff
yeah, that too.
who just has a automatic like, I have no idea what this guy's asking me to do, so I'm going to reply with this. Or I would be willing to bet that AI is cheaper than
I don't know. There's a chance that they simply, because the order has already shipped, and for some reason, even though it has my address and the apartment number um, on the billing, like on there, and all their information, it already has it. It didn't make it onto the shipping, so it's just going to come to our apartment, and there's a chance that they can't change it. So right now they're like, I want to do this thing, but I don't think I can actually accomplish this thing for him, and so like they're like, oh, we should be extra nice.
Okay.
So
What do they use? Is it UPS or FedEx or
FedEx.
something? Oh.
So there's a chance.
I would guess that it's now 100% in FedEx hands, so
Yeah.
Verizon cannot do anything about it.
Yeah. Well, we will see. Um, I mean, I absolutely don't have to have new phones tomorrow. They were just like, we can get it to you tomorrow, and I was like, okay, but I don't know. I don't necessarily want them to be lost in some kind of shipping. Um,
Hmm.
um,
I bet they just ship you another set.
ugh, ugh. We'll see. We'll see. All right.
I mean, because yours was free, right? Yours was a free phone.
Well, it ended up actually. I actually decided to go and got the. So it ended up being. The lady never called me back, because she was supposed to call me back on Saturday, but she didn't.
Hmm.
So yesterday I went in and did it. Today I just went in and did the whole upgrade for myself, and the free phone was actually a certified pre-owned phone,
Hmm.
and I didn't really. I don't know how I feel about that with phones.
Hmm.
Because, like, I don't mind buying used cars. I don't know, maybe that's similar, but, like, I just think, like, the more you use a phone, the worse the battery gets. And so, like, it's certified pre-owned. Did they put a new battery in it, or are they just like, that's good enough?
Hmm.
Like, I don't know. I didn't want to research that, so I was just
Sure.
like,
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and pay. Like, they did do like 50% off, so it's not that much, but. And then I also got Cali one, so we'll see how that goes. There's Cali's medicine bottle on the podcast.
Well, we gotta take our drugs.
Yeah, she slipped away again, like a ghost in the night.
Oh, we're hitting a real intro.
Yeah, welcome back to the Unbroken Ground. Jim is here. It is August, almost the end of August, and once again, we're going to talk about nonsensical things.
Nonsense. 100% nonsense.
Yeah.
If you need just voices in your head, that's what we will be for the next 4.5 hours.
I'm still currently dealing with Joy. Aw.
We're trying to out-appreciate AI.
I just said that I really appreciate her efforts. And she said, that's so sweet of you.
No, so sweet of you.
I don't know, I don't know, I feel starting to just, it's a little creepy. I don't know if I could be sweet anymore. I don't know, it's just going to be like,
Well,
it's my pleasure.
I mean,
Chick-fil-A,
she's still
I'm
working
way out of
on
here.
stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're still waiting for her to
I'm
do
just going to
things.
Chick-fil-A my way out of this. It's my pleasure.
I have started saying that for some reason. just tell people all the time, it's my pleasure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Jim's here.
I don't even go to Chick-fil-A that much. I am here.
Jim's here. Jim, how have you been?
I've been good. We had a summer,
Yeah.
and it had challenges, and it had great parts, and it had heat, and it had storms, and it had broken things, and it had all of the things that summers have every year. It was good.
What was the absolute high moment?
High moment was there's a lot. The high moment was probably there were a few times that I genuinely saw our staff trying to understand Christ better in various ways. And so, and some of them were direct questions to me, and then others were more just trying to live out Christ a little bit better. And it was good.
Yeah.
It's encouraging. Those are the high. Those tend to be the high moments every year, I guess, but those were the high moments. Trying to think about the most popular question from groups this year was,
Okay.
"Can we play on the fire truck?" Yeah, and the most popular response to that answer was, "We can play on the fire truck?" Yeah, you can. You can go batty on it. Have at it. So, people like our fire truck. We had two groups that really wanted to spray each other with the fire truck hose. So Graham, I think if we had one or two more groups ask us, "Hey, can we spray each other with the fire truck hose?" I think Graham would be willing to buy the $400 part that we need to spray people with a fire truck hose. Because it would be fun to spray people with a fire truck hose. However,
Yes.
we don't have a tanking truck. So I do believe that fire truck can go empty in about 3.5 minutes. And it's a big tank, so it sprays a lot of water really fast, which would be sweet. But then we have to fill it, and camp doesn't have like a
Fast way to do that.
fast way to fill the thing.
Yeah.
So you kind of only get 3-minute shots maybe every day, once a day.
Yeah.
But it would still be fun because, yeah, it's one of my highlights as a kid. Did you ever have churches or something do a fire hydrant hose or a fire truck hose, or did you ever have youth programs that did that?
I feel like I mean, if I've got a vague memory of that, but nothing that like really sticks out. I feel like so we were trying to do like maybe like a slip and slide, and the fire truck was providing the water for that, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
So.
Because our church was big, and I definitely have this memory of them hooking it up to the fire hydrant, and it was like this. It was like for VBS, so it was like all these little kids were trying to get the bigger kids that were in control of the hose. That's what I remember, and it was a blast. Because you'd be running full speed and just be stopped by a thing of water.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
So you guys have acquired a fire truck.
That's true.
That is what.
Yeah, I thought we'd work on the climbing wall, but we worked maybe one day on the climbing wall because it's still kind of at a point where, and August is busy too, so I haven't really been I worked on it today, but it's at a point where it's just kind of watch Jim work. It's not really like a good, like, all right, everybody, screw those boards to over there. It's more of a, well, I got to go up that pole, and I got to do some things at the top of that pole, and things like that. So we'll get it done this fall.
Awesome.
We went to had some good staff trips. We went to Devil's Lake twice in Wisconsin. We went to Superior again. Did all the local things, so like Starved Rock and Matheson and wherever else we went. And so did a bunch of local things.
So Lake, tell me about Lake Superior.
So we go up there and we tent camp. And so it's a week. Well, it's 5 days, I think. And let's see, so I think there were 7 of us that went. 6 or 7 of us that went. Graham came. This was a year that we didn't have a group on camp that week, so Graham could actually come. So we go up to Superior, we look at Superior. There were a lot of flies, so nobody wanted to swim because the biting flies were back. But they were just by the lake, so it wasn't that bad. Like if we weren't on the beach, it wasn't that bad. They were kind of bad at the tent site, so at least people wanted to hike, because if they didn't want to hike, they would sit around and get bit by flies. So that's fun. Only about half of the staff came, but that's okay too. We had a good time. Yeah, tent camp, hike around. It's pretty awesome. I like it. I think this year we had some staff that were not in peak physical condition, so they were, I mean, it was just, I don't know if they understood what they were saying yes to, or if they understood, I don't know, whatever.
Sure.
But it's just kind of one of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Superior was fun. I like the lake, so it's always, I feel like it's always nice going up there.
Yeah.
And and then my staff is all, let's see, I had 2, 3, yeah, let's see, so I had to let go of 2 of them because they weren't following rules kind of earlier in the summer, and then 2 of them made it almost all the way through the summer, and then I had to let them go because they weren't following rules. And then so we ended the year and we started with 9 and then we ended with 5, I guess, is how that math works. And then yeah, it's always hard for me to let go staff, because the whole point is for them to get closer to Jesus, and so that's really hard for me. So that was hard. And then
How do you balance? So I'm actually discipling a high schooler right now, and we were talking about. So, you know, I'll get back to my question here in a minute because this is going to be wandering around. So,
Okay.
as it
I
always
mean, we got all
is.
the time in the world, man.
So, I, when it seems like to me like God's put me together with this high school student to do discipleship, just kind of, it just kind of happened, and then there's just so much that I see in myself in certain ways, so some of the ways that I see in him, like that I'm like, oh. Yeah, I remember that as a high schooler or going through like some of the similar thoughts. Some of them are different because growing up in the South was definitely a different experience culturally. But like one of the things that we talk about is this, especially this year, like it can be hard for him to be at school because his classmates are often immature or rude or like sinfully behaving towards teachers and like disrespect and those kind of things. And he's like, it's hard for me not to judge them. And so we've been talking about like love and how like we're called to love our neighbors and love our enemies. And I like it's hard because for me, I don't think I've ever really known an enemy. Like I've never really seen somebody as like you're opposed to me.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as we want to say that the world, like a lot of times the world just doesn't care. But anyway, so we're trying to talk. We're trying to figure out together, like how you do this love thing, because sometimes the most loving thing is like. And this is one of the things that I think we've talked about before about as far as camp goes too. Sometimes the most loving thing is like, hey, you gotta go. Like I care about you, and because I care about you, I can't let you continue down this path without having some consequences. And in some circumstances, that consequence is you don't get to stay at camp. And we did that a lot with kids too, but staff as well. And I think that like that finding that grace, because sometimes for me it's the idea that sometimes giving people leeway and not calling them on their junk is less loving than actually having that honest conversation with them. But I don't enjoy the honest conversation. So like I enjoy like being able to be like the fun uncle or whatever, the fun parent, or the like. But I don't like I don't relish that conflict to be like, but the truth is, and Jim, of course, you as a parent knows this, like there are some conversations that you do have to have, that you have to, especially with kids that are growing up, that you need to say this thing that they're not going to like, but it is the most loving thing for you to say. It's not because you don't love them. You need to say it because you love them. And I think to me, that was a little bit when I was dealing with staff and we had to let them go. There was often an aspect of that too, of like, this is the most loving thing I can do for you because you need to correct your behavior, and I need you to do that. And so this is better for you. But I'm sure most of the people who were on the receiving end of that conversation at the time were like, I don't agree.
Yeah. For the most part, I think my staff understood. I mean, why I was letting them go, because I could be a pushover pretty easy. I mean, you can convince me that oh yeah, that was wrong. You're right. I did something wrong. And I'll go, okay, you can stay. I mean, don't do it again. And then they do it again. And so that's why two of them made it to almost the end of summer, because I just kept being like, I mean, you guys keep finding the line and just putting your toe over it. And it's irritating. And then it finally got to being like, I'm done having these conversations with you guys. Like
Right.
you guys just have to go. I mean, I have rules to have. I mean, so that you get closer to Christ. And if you're just trying to get your toes over the line,
Yeah.
that's not helpful. And then the other aspect of it is the other staff know that they're crossing lines.
Mm-hmm.
And so it becomes a communal thing of how come they're not getting consequences, they're crossing lines, and you either get to a point of everybody's breaking rules, or you get to a point where you have two staff, the ones that break the rules and the ones that rat on the people that break the rules, or just get bitter because nothing's happening because these people are breaking rules and nothing's happening, and so they stop talking to
Right.
you altogether, and so it just gets to a point where the community has to. You just got to let them go for the sake of the community, and so even though, for the most part, I would argue that summer staff at Great Oaks Camp, I'm simply paying you to get closer to Jesus. Like, it is one of the easiest jobs I've ever seen.
Sure.
I mean, we have weird hours, and yes, I need your entire summer, and yes, I need you to live at camp.
Yeah.
But there is so much downtime, and there's so much, I mean, just like on-call time where you're just like, what are we doing right now?
Right.
We're waiting for people to ask us to do things. That's what we're doing. And I mean, the way that we run camp now is that's kind of, and when I can foresee that stuff, then we'll go do trips and stuff on like, well, I know the group's not going to ask us for stuff these days or whatever, or there's no group for a couple days, and so we can go do things, and so
Yeah.
so it's really just more of a. So it's funny when they come to me and go, I'm just tired. Tired from what? What have you been doing?
Yeah.
Because I'm the one doing 16-hour days.
Right.
I'm hanging with you guys all day long, and I get up early to
Yeah.
make sure everything's ready for the day, and then I don't go to bed right away. I send you to bed, and then I have to process through the day and evaluate what has to happen. And so it's just funny to me when
You get that. I'm worn out.
I'm worn out.
Tired.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
We had a big day. And granted, we have some big days. We have some days that I need people to be on for a long time. And the kitchen gets pretty irritating. I mean, the kitchen gets old just doing dishes or cleaning bathrooms or whatever. That gets old pretty fast. I get it. But it's just funny to me as somebody who knows how to work. Like, it just looks like, huh, you're complaining about camp. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. So, I do have to tell you, you're on quite a prestigious episode today.
Ooh.
This is all together with all the different things, different interviews and things like that, different guest appearances, including you and my wife Callie, and one time with Travis and Olivia, and a couple other ones I did interviews on. All that together. This is episode number 150. 150.
150.
So.
Whoa! I should have brought the horn. Wah, wah, wah.
Should have. So what's?
I should have brought cake or something too.
Yes, definitely cake.
I was too focused on stairs and other things that I needed to get at Menards, so I didn't bring nothing.
So in 2026, and this is crazy to me. So we're over. I talked about this a little bit in my last podcast. That was August 4th, but I just recently hit the 5,000 downloads.
Whoa! Yeah. We
which-
talked about that.
Which Yeah,
5,000.
which that is since 2022, and so like the big podcasts do that like within the first hour of them coming out. So but for
I
little
don't
old
care.
me,
Yeah,
it's- we're excited about that, and also because it's accelerated. In 2025 is the most successful year for downloads. We've already, almost already doubled the highest number of downloads that we had in the past 4 years.
All right. Thank you,
So-
Singapore AI.
That's probably not far off from that. For some reason, the two most downloaded in 2025,
Okay.
two most downloaded episodes. One is season 2, episode 20, which is that would have been put out in. It says May 2024. Is that? No, that can't be right. I think I changed some things and I accidentally re-released some things in 2024, so it's older than that. But either way, it has been downloaded 188 times in 2025.
Nice.
And then Jim Talks December from 2020, from December of 2020. I say 2020. We're actually in 2026. I don't know why I said 20. That's wrong. 2026 is the banner year.
Okay.
And so December 2025 with Jim, that had 57 downloads. And then Jim Talks Bigger and Weirder, which is the episode that followed that in January, it's got 42.
Wow.
And so...
hey, 50 people.
Yeah.
50 people downloaded us.
Yeah. 188 for a single episode. So, but yeah, in 2025... the total downloads were 753.
Nice.
And we've already had 2,129 episodes downloaded in 2026. So, and I haven't produced that many episodes in 2026. So, I've really slowed down on that, unfortunately.
That's because you're trying to shoot people again.
I am shooting people again. That is true. It's been a combination of things. I was teaching Sunday school on Sundays and doing youth on Wednesdays, and that kind of really slowed down.
Yeah, and Callie's been.
Callie's had some
You've been a
health
nurse.
things,
You've been a nurse for a while.
for sure. But I am paintball is kicking back up for me. I had not realized this. I don't know. So. Yeah, I actually didn't play paintball for 2 years. I played paintball almost religiously for 10 years, and then Callie had, I think I played one time. Callie got breast cancer, and I think I commanded a game, and that was the last time. And I was like, and that was when I also went back to school, got my second master's degree. But for 2 years, I just didn't have the time or the resources to go. And then this year, I went back and played at Salt Fork, played some Jelly Blasters, which are not anything close to paintball, but they're still a lot of fun. They just shoot out the little orbs things.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
They don't hurt. You can barely feel them. But they're fun to chase people around and shoot them. And so we did that, and I was like, oh yeah, there's this whole thing that I like to do. And I was like, I miss all these people. So yes, I have reignited, started playing paintball again. I've been doing that the last couple weekends, like every weekend. I will be once again doing it this weekend. I also have I have a fantasy football draft that first time ever. I'm going to be going to somebody's house and drafting live, so it's a new experience for me.
Okay.
So I've got some community things of that, but yeah, and then I am once again being a scenario master, so I'm designing a game, running it at White River, Jim is my unofficial props master, and Hugh
Sure.
in the lab for me.
Yeah, I
on
get to build some stuff.
props.
It's
So
pretty fun.
So yeah, so it's been so I haven't been putting in the work on the podcast as much, but strangely, with both my lack of attention and lack of advertising and promotion, it's still been the best year.
It's the best
Almost-
year ever.
It will definitely double. Like
Okay.
it will definitely double any other year. We're like 300 episodes away, or 300 downloads away, and at the pace we've been going, it will definitely double. Now,
Yeah.
Jen and I both have some theories on why that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mostly, we think AI is listening, trying to learn how to
that's
be
a predominant.
trying to
theory.
learn how to be human. So,
So
if
they're listening to
yeah,
the geniuses that are here to try and figure out what humanity is.
because there are quite a few this year from Singapore, from Japan, and so I mean it could be. So I have to be at least somewhat positive that it could be there are some Christians in those areas, and they definitely were like, I need some Christian podcasts going on, but
My
yeah.
hope is that there's English is they're learning English
Yeah.
through listening to podcasts.
absolutely.
So
Yeah.
they're gonna learn some terrible Midwest English from us.
No, I mean, like, yeah.
I mean you're a weird blend of Midwest
I
and
don't
Texas.
even know what I am, for sure. Yeah.
And I'm just pure Midwest dumb,
So,
which
yeah.
is fun.
Let's see.
So the podcast. So we're launching off. So 150. What is something else that you have done 150 times this year?
Ooh. It's a good question. Are we halfway? I've slept 150 times.
I mean, maybe.
We're past it. We're over halfway through.
We're
the
over
year.
halfway through the year, so definitely
at least 100 sleep.
Yeah.
I've had 150 meals for sure. That one's easy.
150 meals. Yeah.
To be fair, just to go not to interrupt that thought, I'll come back to that. To be fair, 48.14% of my listeners have come from the United States this year.
Yeah.
So Singapore at 11, Japan at 12, Vietnam at 7, Germany coming in at 6%. Even a little Canadians.
Okay.
Well,
Okay. So we'll have it 75. So what is something that you've done 75? So that's maybe
Yeah.
3 times a week. What's
Ooh.
something you do 3 times a week on average?
Cool, man.
Poop. I think I poop more than 3 times a week, but
I am wow. If you want to go ahead and turn the podcast off now, if there's ever been a time to turn the podcast off, now is the time to do that, because I'm just gonna say I predominantly, and this was interesting because when we went backpacking, I noticed this. Predominantly, I probably poop every day.
yeah,
Most
it's
days.
an every day, huh?
Rarely do I go 2 days without pooping.
Okay,
But when we were backpacking, back when we went to Missouri,
yeah,
I think it was me and maybe Tyler. Like, I was like, and I was kind of like, so I came late to the whole let's go backpacking and traipse through the woods kind of thing. I did it at late, and I was like, I haven't pooped in the woods, so I'm gonna take my shovel and and find a log and do that, because I gotta get my experience in. But and it was only 3 days, but it did take note that you guys were just like, no, I'm good. I was like, you gotta have the experience. You gotta.
that's true. I
you
mean,
gotta poop in the woods
you do have to go poop in the woods
at least once.
at least once.
So, Man, 75 times. What?
75 times is about 3 times a week.
Yeah.
What's something? Uh, Is there something? Is there a podcast you listen to that much? 3 times a week. Is there one podcast that you're like?
Not in the first part of the year, but now that we're in fantasy football, there's a podcast called Fantasy Footballers that they put out an hour episode every day.
Oh wow!
And I try to listen to those. I this two weekends ago I drove to Indianapolis after hanging out at Great Oaks and doing some paintball there for leading some paintball, not playing, but
Yeah.
and so I listened to 4 hours of it all the way to Indianapolis. And,
Oh wow!
and all the way home. So 8 hours, just catching
Okay.
up on that. So, but yeah, I generally do that. I wish I could say work out, but I don't think I could honestly say that I've done that 3 times a week in the first part of the
I
year.
haven't done it 3 times in the last 3 years, so I don't work out. I think so before summer I listened to the Daily Show,
Yeah.
but now I think the Daily Show's either canceling or not doing stuff. I don't know. It hasn't come back, so because I don't listen to like the old pod. I don't go back in podcasts and be like, let me listen to old stuff. Like
Yeah.
I don't think I've found a podcast that I wanted to go and search around and
Go all the way to the beginning.
yeah. I mean, let's see. I did Joe Rogan because he does interview people, like some of those interviews I wanted to see. But then after a while of listening to Joe Rogan, you realize Joe Rogan talks a lot.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter who he's interviewing, he's going to be the main character. And so then I found other ways to listen to.
Yeah. Yeah. I did. I did go back and listen to the other day. I was reminded of Josh Johnson's stand up. He's constantly through my feed and Instagram reels and stuff. So it's not like I forgot about him, but
Yeah.
he does this bit on Dollar General.
Hmm.
And apparently there was a guy who was going in to rob the Dollar General, and he brought a sawed-off shotgun to do that. And the Dollar General employees were like, I don't think so. And they took the sawed-off shotgun from him and beat him with it. And his getaway driver called the cops on the Dollar General employees because they were beating up his friends.
That's awesome.
And the way he talks about it, he's like, it's like, let me tell you about the Lord. The Lord is good. There have been people who are in my life that I can't put my hands on, and yet here you go.
Here you go.
He's like, you got to be something. You got to be so used to things when somebody comes with a gun and you go, I choose hands. So look it up. It's a great, like,
That's
there's a
fun.
whole thing on like Dollar Generals and how they are, like, the way they are, and they're but that is that whole, like,
That is true.
the Lord knows I've been doing.
I can
I've
get-
had people I can't put my hands on all
Yeah,
week, and
yeah.
here you are.
I can get lost in stand up.
Mm-hmm.
I like listening to stand up. My wife can't handle it,
Yeah.
so that's strictly on my phone because I'll try and put it like if I put a special or something on TV,
Yeah.
then that clears the room because not everybody can handle stand up, I guess. But
The crazy thing about Josh Johnson to me is, like, his team does a great job of editing out, like the stuff he puts on YouTube and stuff like that doesn't have, like, a lot of salty language in it. But if you listen to his specials, it's like definitely it's all there, and so it's like he's not particularly clean.
right,
But if you watch it on YouTube, he is.
yeah,
Because they edit all that out, like,
Yeah.
so then I always have to be hesitant because there's certain people that are like, you're like, oh, well, you're not gonna like if you go and find some deep cuts, you may not like
Yeah.
the language
Yeah.
that he uses.
Well, and that's the danger. That's the bummer with stand up is
Yeah.
a lot of it is so
yeah,
is a little bit vulgar, and well, a lot of it is very vulgar. But
yeah.
so you kind of have to, and that I think that may be more of why my wife doesn't like it, because it's hard to find.
And Josh Johnson is rarely vulgar. He's just more of like you kind of like get used to him. Like, oh yeah, he doesn't really seem drop F-bombs or.
Yeah.
And then you listen to some of his like YouTube, like his Spotify stuff, and you're like, oh no, he does.
Yeah.
Oh no, he does. But he just, as a person, like just seeing because he does like just being on different shows and like podcasts and stuff. He seems like a genuinely nice person.
Mm-hmm.
That can all be that could totally be fake. So I do enjoy some of his stuff. But we were getting in the car the other day. Callie listens to audiobooks, and she is one of those people that doesn't really like salty language. And getting the car, and her book was still going because it just automatically connects, and the character was like, swearing up the storm, and she was like, I know. But I'm already like 9 books into this series. And I don't have a problem with it. Like you don't have to apologize to me. You have to look yourself in the mirror and talk to yourself about like what you got going on here. So, but yeah. So yeah. That I don't have. Trying to think. I used to when I was driving once a month or twice a month to different places for paintball. Stuff You Should Know. That was a podcast that I would go back.
Oh yeah, I'd listen to that every once in a while
and pull up like some old episodes of that. There's that's about it though.
I listened to an old radio program called Car Talk.
Okay.
Click and clack. People phone in with their car problems, and they just make up answers, and it's hilarious.
Okay.
It's a little hillbilly. I get it. It's a little hillbilly, but it's car talks. I mean, it's talking cars, and it's kind of fun.
Sure.
And you can learn some sense. I mean, it's kind of fun. It's an old radio. I mean, it was big in the 90s, I think.
Yeah.
Or when radio was dying.
When video killed the radio star.
Yeah. Yeah. What else? Yeah, so that's fun. So what's been keeping you busy? Other than paintball and other than nursing your wife?
Yeah, paintball and nursing my wife.
You're discipling a kid.
Yeah.
Are you still teaching Sunday school?
I've not done that since July 20th. I'm kind of unofficially taking a sabbatical.
Okay.
So I haven't done youth or Sunday school, because that was not planned, but maybe that's God's intentions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Have it, but yeah. So I'm not just doing discipleship, but I did. I am going to teach youth this week, so I haven't. Our church is doing some different things for midweek, and youth is on Wednesday nights. Junior high youth is on Wednesday nights, and the youth minister is teaching a class, one of the first parts of the classes or something. So he needed somebody to step in and teach. So I am teaching youth this Wednesday night. So that's a big portion of what I mean. That's keeping me busy. I also going to be leading a worship set at work, so got doing that a little bit for Thankful Thursday. We have food and song, so I get to.
You've done this before?
I've never done the Thankful Thursday part. I have led worship at the main, like the large group meetings and stuff like that. So, I mean, a big portion. Yeah, what's really kept me busy is I've been. Wow, you said I couldn't talk about paintball, but I'm going to anyway because I just I'm just gonna take your question and answer it like I'm
I mean, you answer it however you want.
strategery. Lockbox. So, goodness. So yeah. So I've been, just found out a couple weeks ago that I was gonna I got the okay, got the approval to do this game. It's a place I've done it before, and so I'm just thinking through one of the cool things that I like to do, and Jim and I do together quite a bit is we've done a couple of times anyway, is design escape rooms. And so one of the things I like to do is in paintball. So the field that I'm doing this at has an event 3 times a year where it's a big game and all these people come to it. And so my goal is to make each event, each time they come, be a little bit different, because it's still at the core, you're still running around in the woods, shooting each other with paintballs and like taking
Yeah.
like at the core, it's always the same gameplay. You're never getting away from that.
Right.
But like being able to kind of offer different flavors for the people that are commanding, the guys that are in charge, because that's guys and girls, because that's a different level of commitment. You don't get to play as much. So trying to create good options for things that are meaningful. Because a lot of times, what's so interesting, and I say so interesting because it's so interesting to me. I don't know if anybody else will even care about this, but you have 2 sides at a paintball game like this, and if whether it's 100 on each side or 75 on each side, it doesn't take that many people to unbalance the game. So with 100 people each side, even up to 200, so between 100 and 200 people, it takes somewhere between 5 to 15 people. And if you have 5 to 15 people who are constantly battling on the field for one side more than the other side, then the other side is gradually or almost they're going to be overwhelmed. Because it just doesn't take, because even if you have even sides, you don't have, with the way the scenario generally works, is you have these 3-hour blocks of time that start at 9 o'clock and then in the morning and then end at 12, and then you've got a break. But during that time, it's just the game's just going. So you have some people who are on the field and they go on the field for like 15 minutes, and then they're like, okay, I'm going to take a break, and then we take a break for the next 2 hours, and then be like, oh, I should go back out. And then you'll have other people who are like, I don't leave the field, except when I got to go get more paint and more air. And so they're out there for almost 3 hours. And so even if you have an even sides, you don't necessarily have even amounts of people on the field at the same time.
Sure. Yeah.
And then you also have so you'll definitely have people that are walk-ons who are just like, I don't even know. I mean, that's how I started 2015, November 2015 at this field. I just showed up because we had gone to Camp Manitoqua and played. And I was like, this is amazing. And then we went and played one time at Chili Pits.
Oh, yeah.
When it was just like you, me, and Graham showed up.
Yeah.
It was just, we were just the 3 of us for a little bit, and then more people showed up, so we went down the hill. But I was like, and then I looked it up. It was like, oh, you can go play this big game with all these people over in Anderson, Indiana. And so I signed up. Didn't know anybody. Didn't know what was going on. I showed up. I had bought my own marker. I bought it was like $100, and my own tank, and I didn't even know how to put it together. I didn't know how to air it up. I'm sitting there trying to screw on the tank into the threading system and just struggling. But I played that. Didn't know what was going on the whole weekend. But I played that, and I was like, oh, I really like this. I need to find a team. And so the other side of that is you have these people like me who just show up, and I'm not much help. I was not much help. I guarantee you, I was very unhelpful.
Right.
And then you get on a team, you find people to play with, and they're kind of your community, they're kind of your people, and I did that for a long time, and we still kind of have that, but the team, it's been 10 years, and so kids that were 8, 9, 10, now they're 20, they're going off doing their own thing.
Right.
Yeah. Parents who had kids in that range, they're playing high school sports, so they can't go, so like it's definitely a different thing. And then of course COVID hit in the middle of that, and that just really slowed everything down, trying to stay together. So so all that to say, even if you have even numbers on paper, you may not have even numbers of because you've got one side that's just got more teams or more walk-ons or whatever.
Right.
You've got the same number of bodies, but you don't have the same capability.
Yeah.
So as a game master, scenario master, one of my desires is to make it as fun as possible. And one of the things that you have to manage with that is the reality that at some point the game's going to become unbalanced. And what do you do? How do you help the general of the side that you don't have, you don't just have people in reserve to be like, all right, well, not this game we don't. We don't have, sometimes we'll have mercs who will do that and be like, hey, you go fight for this team over here, and then help them, kind of feel that push back and forth. But so there's things like perks and stuff that you can buy, like different skills, some different advantages that generals could use to get missions accomplished. And the problem with unbalanced games is that what happens is people get stuck in their spawns, and they basically can't move about the field, and that's not very fun for either side, because either you're just spawn camping, so you're just sitting there shooting people as they try to get out of their spawn, and other people are trying to fight out of the spawn, and so it's not very fun. But there is an element that people are like, well, I'm here to win, and I'm the commander, and I want so I want to I want to play in such a way that I know I can win, and so I mean that is one strategy is if the other team is stuck in their spawn, then they can't complete missions and they can't stop you from completing your missions. So but how do you balance that out? So that's been a lot of my brain, just imagining, trying to think through all the things that could happen and how to counter that and how to try to provide, and then realize that about 5 minutes into everything going on, what I thought would be the way will be broken, and we'll have to sort through it that. So that's a long take of what I've been thinking the past, especially the past week. But I've been most of my free time I've been thinking through missions and different perks. I don't think this is one that's going to make it into the game, so I can talk about it. But this one is in the game for sure. There's people who have rocket launchers, so they have they shoot Nerf rockets at buildings, and when rocket hits the building's destroyed and everybody in it. And so one of the perks that I've thought about creating is a zombie card, which basically says that if you get hit by a destruction perk like that, or if you get sniped, you are still alive. You're undead. You're still alive, and you can kind of hold that place. So, and this is super helpful, if you have certain missions where you have to hold a certain building or something for a certain amount of time.
Oh, sure.
So, so then you also create a role for the team that doesn't have the zombies, and they have a syringe without a needle or anything, and they have to go put it in your arm, and that's how you get rid of the zombies. Something like that kind of oh yeah, well, if you can get that perk and put that person in the right place, then utilize it. Then even if you're not having you're not having great success, you've got some things that you can utilize, stuff like that. But that one is probably not going to go into this game. I'm still thinking about all the mechanics of that. The other side of the things is you have to think through, and Jim and I have been working on this project of a device to carry to a certain location and then turn it on. And you have to think through all the ways that somebody would cheat.
Yeah.
Or how they would use something like a perk that they would use dangerously. And so if you give somebody a zombie perk, they can't die. How do you communicate that? How do you make sure that somebody doesn't like some player who doesn't understand the game, because there are people who don't listen to the rules, don't listen to the fun things that are going on, and are just like, I will just light that person up with all the paint I have in my hopper, because I think they should leave. And so how do you stop that from happening? Because if that happens, the person who's the zombie is like, I'd like to punch you in the face now, and like now you have this like neither one. Well, one should pay attention to the rules, but like on the paintball field where all that stuff's going on, neither one's really in the wrong. They just don't. That person just doesn't understand, and but it's also facilitated because there's a rule, and so like it's kind of the person who put that rule in there. It's your fault. Because you got to think through how do you keep that situation from happening. I mean, the other side of it is like there's a well, and you do a little bit of this with team building too, when you do like initiatives and stuff. Like there you think through some of the ways, and sometimes you leave them in there because you're like, okay, well, if you want to do that shortcut, if you think that's a better way of doing that, but a lot of times you think through and give the rules before they even start the game or start the challenge, because it's like, no, I know how you how you were going to try to circumvent this or make this easier, or not actually make this a challenge. And so that's been kind of it's a fun thought exercise, but it's also challenging because you want to, how do you balance out, like I said, my goal is that they have so much fun that they want to keep doing that, because then that's how, as a scenario master, that's how I make my money, that's how the field makes its money, that's how we keep doing this thing. Like they're like, I had so much fun, I want to be back for that game. And not only that, I want to tell my friends, because it was the best game that I've played, or I had the best time. And I've done that before. Like I've got one of my friends who I went and just played paintball with this past weekend. He's like, you remember the one, like, because I did it, I think, like 3 or 4 years ago. He goes, yeah, that is a core paintball memory for me, was that game and the things that I got to do. And I was like, and that's cool. To know that
is cool.
And he's been to a lot of games, but that's one of his like core chief. Still remember that game. And for me, it was like, yeah, I had fun. Like I took over. The reason I was the scenario master was the guy who was doing it. His wife was having a kid, so he was like, I can't do this. And I kind of took over just because I was like, I'll help you out. I didn't really, but that kind of started the bug of wanting to do that again. But it's now taken me 4 or 5 years to get back into doing that. So, but gonna be doing it more next year.
Yeah,
so,
now you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
How to run paintball games. That's pretty fun.
How to create experiences on a paintball field that combine well with the people, because you have like three types of people at paintball fields usually when you're doing big games. You have people who love the scenario, so they love the missions, they love the theme. They're like, I want to be involved in the story. I want to be involved in running the missions. I want to be involved in because that's where we get the points. So you have those people. A lot of times those are teams that they mostly like work together. But then you also have the person that's just like, I just want to go out in the woods. I just want to go out on the field. I just want to shoot the other person. And when I shoot the other person, I know I'm fulfilling my duty of like winning the battles. And so that's all I want to do is I want to go out and shoot paintball. I don't want to think about a mission. I don't want to think about a prop. I don't even care what the theme is. I'm playing paintball to shoot the other team. So you have those people, and then you have like the people who just like, I think it's the best way to play paintball because it's much more cost effective than doing open play. But you have the people who are just like, well, I was here, I wanted to play open play, I showed up and this thing was going on, and now I'm just here. Or sometimes you even have like a dad and his kid, and it's like, how do you get them involved? How do you get them rolling into the story and having that time, because you're like, wow, we want to grow this. We want the sport to be accessible and exciting for all people. So that and Jim knows this about me because he's known me for long enough. I'm a huge nerd that obsesses about things like that, and they just
that's right up your alley.
Fill my energy and processing as I think through all that. So so that's what's been filling my days.
That's fun.
So But yeah, I've been new experience since. So I August 4th I kind of did an update about Callie, and we got to come home from the hospital. But I've been working from home, so I've been that's a new experience. I've not since COVID have I worked from home, and so
Yeah.
getting used to that. Although this morning, rolling out of bed kind of late and taking a shower and just being able to walk into my office versus having to drive. And Peoria is not a long commute. It's like 10 minutes for me. It's 15 because we closed that because they closed down.
Because everything's under
Yeah,
construction around here.
it's 15 now, but I'm like, ugh. It seems like, I don't know. I don't know if I can go back to the office. So, so we'll see. We'll see. But just having to reorient and like, I got to get up earlier than that, and I got to can't just lay in bed, or I can't just be lounging around because I got to get to the office at a certain time. So
Yeah.
So I've lost some of those skills, but out of practice on that. But yeah, so. Yeah. What about you? What has your last 3 weeks been
Last
focused
3
on?
weeks. Well, it's the transition from from summer to fall. So we lose staff, and then I get to kind of reappear at church every once in a while. But because we lose staff, if there's groups on camp that need stuff, then I'm there too. And so, yeah, I was joking with some of my church friends that the only time I go to church in the summer is when I preach for Joe, because he leaves for a couple weeks and I fill in for him. He and his family go do summer vacation, and so I typically fill in those typically the only 2 weeks in summer that I can go to church. And so some summers it's different, but the last couple summers it's what it's been. And then because even on days off, if staff stay on camp, then it's kind of my responsibility to make sure they get to church or things like that. So a day off isn't really a day off.
Yeah.
Or helping them get stuff they need for the week, like driving them around Peoria or whatever. But let's see. So that ends, which is nice. So I do have days that I just sit and stare at a fire all by myself or with my kids or whatever. So that's kind of nice. And then so it does change pace, but we're still busy because schools come out, because school's starting. So now schools start coming out during the week, and then just about every weekend we have a group. If not every weekend, we have a group in August, and then all the way through fall. Fall will be nice because it'll change into just weekends. So yeah, Graham and I were trying to figure out, when do we talk about summer, let's not miss what God had for us.
Yeah.
Conversation. And August is still not it. So September, we might probably will do that. Maybe the first week of September or something. But because August, with all the day groups that we serve during the week and then the weekend groups, it's kind of like, well, we could shove it in one of our days off. Because it's been summer, so we're not used to not getting a day off. But days off are kind of important in August. So
Yeah.
because it helps us remember that we don't have to make this thing run. Like it's just, it'll go. There's always more to do. So yeah, I got to play on the. Today there wasn't anybody on camp, so I got to play on the challenge court. Work on the climbing wall. I think I finished the stairs. I used a bolt that I don't know if they're code or not, or whatever. Anyway, super specific, something or other. I might have to go back and do it again, but it's not a big deal to switch out bolts. So, but yeah, it's just kind of nice to have days that it's not putting out, like, it's not like, well, this building needs to be cleaned and that building needs to be cleaned, and we got to mow, and we got to do this, and we got to do that. So now it becomes more of a, okay, let's work on the climbing wall today, and then tomorrow we'll mow, and tomorrow we'll clean, and I mean, we still have to do all that stuff for groups, but
Yeah.
it becomes a little bit more like small camp, I guess, where 3 or 4 of us can run just about all the way through fall. So it's kind of nice. There's a couple groups that I need to call in outside facilitators, but that's about it. And then what else is happening in the last 3 weeks? My daughter didn't go to college, so Hannah was supposed to go to college, but over the summer she heard, I think, and there again, this is why I'm a camp person, because she went to a camp, she was surrounded by a Christ-filled community that everybody's trying to pursue Christ and do their best at trying to get everybody else to pursue Christ.
Yeah.
They do training really well. They do program really well because they do training really well. And through that process, it showed Hannah the difference between her pursuing her goals and her pursuing God's goals for her.
Yeah.
So she didn't absolutely just walk away from school. She did put in, like, she threw out questions and she found out that she can defer her enrollment for a year. And so she deferred her enrollment for a year in case that is where God ultimately wants her. But she's really feeling like it's something else.
Yeah.
Because I think she got a glimpse of, man, I just had this goal and that's all I was thinking about forever and ever and for whatever, the 3 years, the 2 or 3 years that she was focused on that goal. And I think God reached into her heart a little bit deeper and said, is this you or me? And so she's taking a gap year and she's trying to figure out if it was her or if it was God. And I'm okay with that because she didn't just come home and be like, I'm not doing anything. She's genuinely trying to get out of our house still.
In fact, she would love to not be. She's
Her
doing
ideal
anything.
would
She would
still
love
not
to
to
already be
be
gone.
home. But so she's applied to YWAM and some other missions programs and just gap year opportunities, things.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have her around camp because I definitely said, you want to work for me? And so without any training, I gave her a group of 8th graders to do initiatives with. And she was like, Dad, I don't know what I'm doing. And I said, I know. And so, I mean, I say without any training, she grew up at camp.
Yeah.
And B, she did it all summer. I mean,
I was going to say, Honey Rock is a facilitating place.
Yeah,
so,
Honey Rock doesn't facilitate initiatives like we do.
Yeah.
Like, they don't run them like we do in the summer. But they do feed them into their program. So they know how to brief and debrief about things. And so,
right.
Plus my daughter thinks like I do a little bit in that realm of like, okay, let's talk about the more important things. Not just the how did you do it.
Yeah.
And so that was good. I mean, she watched me do a professional group because we had a couple groups that she could just watch.
Yeah.
And so she watched me do some things, and then I walked her through her sequence, like her opportunity. Anyway, it's nice to have her around, and then she helped in the kitchen, so it's kind of nice to have her.
I got to hang out with her, do paintball. And
oh yeah, she helped with paintball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So had a good time with that.
Yeah, so that's kind of fun, and she's getting paid for that, so that's kind of nice. I mean, because if you're just sitting at home, you gotta make money. Even if you're just sitting at home nowadays, you gotta make money somehow. I mean,
well, and I think it should be pointed out that at one time, she had like 2 or 3 jobs,
yeah.
all at the same time. So it's not like of the type of people that you think about, like they're just like, I'm not gonna go to college. I'm gonna just stay at home. She's not the person that's like,
yeah.
I don't want to do anything. It's
Yeah.
like, I want to do something. Don't know what it is yet. I don't know what exact path that is yet.
Yeah.
But it also is, I don't want to be here. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit on these laurels. But I'm going to sit here long enough and work if I have to, because, yeah.
Yeah. So she knows, yeah. Because YWAM costs money.
Yeah.
Everything costs money.
Yep.
I mean, if you start to talk a gap year program, you're going to pay people to do an experience.
Yeah.
Typically, you don't tend to get paid for a gap year program. But some of the things she's applied for, I think, are like support raising, like missionary pilot things. I think it's more a support raising thing of, sure, sign on and we'll help you raise support or something. But
yeah.
But yeah, so she's got she's got desires, but it's changed. And then Jacob's still out west, so people keep asking me questions, and I go, I don't know, man. Like,
he's alive. He checks in every now and then.
he doesn't. The Klingbeil men communicate when we need to, so it's not I don't love him. It's not I don't care. It's you talk to your mom, and I get updates from your mom, so I don't.
Yeah.
Why am I calling you? I don't know. I don't know why I'm calling you.
Yeah.
It's not. So I know to some people that sounds cold or whatever. It's not really what it's intended to sound like. But and maybe it is. I don't know. But that's who we. I mean,
I'm not here to judge. So
that's a deep.
Gonna judge.
There's the deep Klingbeil like. That's what we do. That's just what we do.
Just how it goes.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and then Ember found out she needs another root canal, so that's she has 2. She's had one done last year, I believe, and then she has one that should be done. And then she found out the other week when she went to a dentist, she thought she was just going to find out a cavity, and they were like, no, you need another root canal. So, I don't know. Her body's just eating itself. And then, and I genuinely think she might be turning into a vampire. Because she can't handle lights, and her teeth are all going away by way of roots. So I think maybe it's setting her mouth up for vampire teeth. I don't know for sure.
I don't know. She does like garlic, so.
True. But I never knew that vampires were sparkly either. So.
True.
I mean. It's just one of those things. I don't know what's happening.
Oh man.
But as far as so that's kind of what's going on in my head. What am I thinking about? I just continue. I'm processing summer, which I'm not gonna do here on the podcast because that's just for me. But and maybe a little Graham, but that's just us. And then so processing summer, and then. Just trying to, I think the big lesson that I've gotten, and maybe I said this last time I was here, maybe it's because my lessons are slow going. Like, I learn things very slow now. Is the best way, I can put it 2 different ways. It's the difference between knowing and living something. The difference between knowing and living something, because I'm now a 46-year-old man that has a master's in Christian education, my undergrad is in Christian education. I went to school, studied the Bible for, I guess that's 6 years straight of studying the Bible, because that's what all those classes are. And then jumped right into ministry. I've been doing that for 19 years now. Feel like I kind of know the Bible. And then God says, yeah, but are you living the lesson?
Mm-hmm.
And so the other way that I put it is God is just continually growing my faith.
Mm-hmm.
And so because summer had some really hard parts to it, both staff-wise and just personal life, just kind of just having all the kids leave and all of that, like working through the empty nester thing, like that's a pretty heavy deal.
Yeah.
Like not being a provider or being a caretaker for, or being able to provide or care for my kids directly
Right.
is a big step
Yeah.
in your head. And so, or at least in my head. And so that was kind of hard at the beginning of summer. In combination with dealing with some of the issues of the staff that are just kind of hard, of like we all have anti-communal aspects to ourselves. Some of us, I guess, would be labeled more extroverts and just enjoy being around people, and others introverts, and that's a terrible classification. And our modern society has only doubled down on that and said things like, well, and terms like social anxiety start coming out, or slight autism starts coming out, or like all these things, all these labels that people hide behind because because it's uncomfortable. And so that was the hard part of the summer, of trying to figure out, okay, is this real, or is this a label and you're just hiding behind it? Yeah. Or what is the deal here? And so I don't know, that was the hard. And so how that wraps into faith is those kind of lessons. If people are working through those kind of issues, I don't necessarily see any behavioral change. I just because it's all stuff in their head. And so they can run the pond at the beginning of summer and be very anxious about it, but guess what? You still have to run the pond, so go run the pond. And then, but by the end of the summer, they're still running the pond.
Right.
And I can't tell necessarily if they're anxious. And a lot of that has to do with how they view authority and all of that stuff. Like the conversations they have with me, are they real? Are they not real? And so all of that jumps into that whole aspect of just trust God, that He's working in their hearts, and have that faith that He's working. Because I can't change people. It's the Holy Spirit that changes hearts. And so that's my 3 weeks are praying for staff and just trying to let them go, and trying to figure out how to reach back out to them, just to let them know. Still thinking about them, and while summer has ended, they're still cared for, etc., etc. And so that's my 3 weeks there.
Yeah, I think trust is such an interesting thing. Because because you, I mean, I think we had you and Ember over for dinner maybe a week after Callie got out of the hospital. So after spending 7 days, and kind of like, what do you think God's doing? It's always kind of that baseline question there, and I still don't know, have no clue, but because I'm slow, like
It's a long time sometimes for us.
Have we stated? I think I was talking with Tom Nossinger a little bit about this too. So Callie goes in to have surgery. It's supposed to be a day surgery. Literally, they're like, "This is no big deal. Don't even worry about it. No problem. You go in, out, boom, no problem." So she goes in. We get there 6 in the morning. 10 o'clock they go by 9 or 10 o'clock she goes back for surgery. Supposed to come out in recovery. Or maybe she goes in at 8. Supposed to come out at 12 or something. Anyway, I don't get a call for a couple hours, which I was like, well, this is a little weird. And then go back and they're like, well, get a call from the surgeon. Oh yeah, everything went good. There was a little bit more calcification than we expected, but everything's good. She should be fine. Go back to recovery, and they're like, yeah, we can get her pain under control. And they were like, what's your pain level? And Kylie's like, it's like 10 billion, because it's always on a scale of 1 to 10, which Kylie hates, because she's like, how do you even know? And they're like, well, we'd like it to be at a 3. And there's a slight gulf between 10 billion and 3. But we've had this happen before. We had this happen before. Callie had, I say we, I'm just a spectator in all of this. I mean, I'm not experiencing the pain. So we had this happen, but she repaired her labrum, had surgery to repair her labrum about, I guess, a year ago almost. And they couldn't control the pain there. They even tried to do an epidural and had like a nerve block with the and nothing worked. And so she stayed overnight one night. And then she came home the next day. So we're like sitting there, and it's like, yeah, pain's not under control. We don't really want to send you home, because if you have a flare up, then probably just end up in the ER. Then you're sitting in the ER, and we don't want you to sit in the ER. So let's admit you. Okay. And that was about 2:00 in the afternoon when they said, all right, we're gonna admit you. We've got you a room. 8 hours later. I guess it's 6 hours. I guess maybe that was 12 o'clock, and when they said they're going to admit, and because it was 8 hours. 8 hours, we finally leave outpatient recovery. So we were in there for 8 hours, and Callie's just in some intense pain, and you're just sitting there going, because I don't know what it's like to watch a kid suffer. So I don't want to see anybody suffer. I mean, whether I love them or not, whether they're connected to me or not, but Kylie's just in this intense pain, and there's just kind of this there's this part of me that's like, all right, God, you could step in and stop this right now. You could. I know you can. I know you have the power to do that. And I mean, 8 hours of just kind of sitting there. I felt a little bit like, and Jim, you might get this, you might not. You're a little bit different because of being from the north, but when I was in high school, that was when the rapture was taking Southern Baptist Christianity by storm, and it was like Left Behind was super popular, the book series, and they're like, Jesus is coming back probably tomorrow, and as a high schooler, I hadn't got married, I hadn't really even had my first kiss, hadn't experienced so many things of life, and I was like, Jesus, yes, come back, but could you wait? Can I get married first? Can I? There's kind of this bargaining there that was just and so I was kind of taken back a little bit to that of and what's hard for me is there's a there's a seesaw of emotions, and like you're like, well, do I just not have enough faith? Because Jesus deals with this dad who's like, can't, if you can, and he's like, where is your, what do you mean if I can? Where's your faith? And then, but then you think about like, and so dad's like, help me with my unbelief, and Jesus heals their, so you're like, do I not have enough faith? Like is my prayer not effective? But then you go to like a passage with Paul where he's like, so I've got this thorn in my flesh, and I prayed 3 times, and if anybody is close enough that God's like, okay, I'll listen to that. It's definitely Paul, and Paul's like, so God's just said to me, my strength, your weakness, my strength is enough. My mercy is enough. My grace is enough. I'm not taking this thorn, whatever that thorn is, and there's a debate over what all of it is. But still, like Paul was praying for this thing, and God's like, no, not taking away this bothersome pain, whatever affliction, whatever it was, mental or physical or whatever, emotional, whatever it was, and God's like, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, I know that's also, and then you go into the faith chapter with Hebrews, and you have all these people who are like, and some receive their children back, from the dead, and then it's like, but others, others were sawn in two, and they wandered in the wilderness, and they never received the reward that they were seeking, even though the world was not worthy of them. Like it was like, and you're like. And so, like, you're balancing that out, and just 8 hours of just sitting there waiting to go to a room, waiting for pain to relieve, and you just don't have any it's like let's pray, and then on the flip side of that, to get into the weirdness of being a human, like if that's the worst thing. Like it could be so much worse. Like this is bad. Like right. I don't like this. I don't want to be a part of this. I don't want to experience this. I don't want my wife to experience this. I don't like. But then you're like, but it could be worse. Like there's so many good things in this, and you're like, are you being ungrateful? Like are you just expecting that? Like what level of trauma and bad things with quotes around it, like what level of tribulation or trial are you accepting as a follower of Jesus? And then you come back to Jesus, and Jesus is like, yeah, you're gonna struggle, there's gonna be trouble in this world. And you're like, and Jesus is like, I don't what's the confusion here? I warned you that you were gonna have troubles. And then then you have other people, so they're so well meaning. And maybe they're right. Maybe I'm wrong. But they're like, oh, yeah, I'm praying for you. And now you just got to believe. Every step you take, you're being healed, And, and it's like, it could be, but it doesn't seem to be. And it just has, it's just one thing after another for Callie. And she's still in pain, and it's like, you trust. This is where I get back to trust, because I talk a lot about this, so I don't know if I've talked about this on a podcast or with you, but there's in Psalm 23, which is, I get, it's a famous psalm and maybe overdone, but there's a part in Psalm 23 that says, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and the phrasing there strikes me because it says, it's not a if I might, or if I possibly do, or if I happen to find myself there. The phrasing is, I'm going to walk through the shadow of the valley of death. Whatever that is. It sounds like a terrible place to be. It's not a place you want to be, right? But it's a reality. Like God is putting it in the scripture, saying, if you're walking with God, there's going to be a time, over and over again, he just talks about it. He's like he's preparing you for this, of being like, there's going to be a time where you feel like you're just inches from death. And I'm not even saying Callie felt that way, but I mean, just like this pain. And it's like, he says, even though you go through that, it's thy rod, thy staff that comfort me. And the trust is that as a sheep, which is what Psalm 23 is a lot about, the Lord is my shepherd. As a sheep, you may not like where you're at, but you trust the one that's leading you through that. And I was having a conversation with Hannah a little too about like, how do you know what the right path is? And she was like, well, it's you have peace about it. And I said, yes, I agree with that. But I was like, but I also want to counsel, because I think that there is there's this hard line that you walk where peace means I feel good about this because I feel like I can do it. Like I'm peaceful about this because like, oh, I've got this.
Yeah.
Versus a peace that comes from God that passes understanding. It's like, I shouldn't feel good about this, but I do.
Right.
Like there's a difference. And so like, because there are times when God calls me to do things and I'm like, I'm not okay. Like, I don't feel peace about it. And there are people out there who have told me and have been like, well, if you don't feel peace about it, then it's not from God. I'm like, no, I'm fairly certain that God called Noah to build the ark, and I'm fairly certain that he had some questions and probably didn't have a peace about what was going to happen up until the point, he calls Moses. I know Moses doesn't have. He's like, Moses the whole time is like, are you real, God? For sure? Like, is that really what you want me to do? Like, I'm the one? Really?
Yeah.
And like, so, like, yes, there's peace and there's trust, but like, it's so hard to navigate because because it's just this crouch back and forth of going like, God, this is really bad. If you could just take this pain, if you could just heal Callie, if you could just, we don't want to deal with this anymore. Like, it's like now we're, and it ended up going from the frying pan, to the fire, and got worse, and like so much stuff that just seems so out of wrong, and like, and then again, but still, like, I'm looking around going, but I've got it so good, like, like I'm whining. And yet my life is probably better. I'm richer than 98% of the world, and I don't have to worry about where my next meal is coming from. I don't have to worry about if my electric bill is going to be paid. Like how blessed am I? We have 2 cars. Like we're even though they're billionaires, we're still on the income scale of people in the compared to the world that are almost nauseatingly rich. And so you look at all of that, and then you're going, okay, God, so how do you balance? Like, and this is not something I figured out. So this is still me processing out loud and through this, but like, how do you balance that of being like, God, I don't want trial and tribulation in my life. I'm willing for myself, like I'm willing to, I'll take some pain on myself, but it's very hard to watch the suffering of someone else and not be able to do anything about it.
Yeah.
And to embrace that, and then come back and be like, yeah, and so God's good.
Yeah.
You trust that God is good, that He's got something, because you're like, I all the things I see, I get all the arguments, I get all the like, but in the midst of this, like, the thing that I need the most for God to be good is not happening, and seems to be getting further and further away.
Right.
And like we just don't have. And I think I struggled a little bit because we just don't have that language within our. A lot of times within our worship music, within the way we talk about, like, when we preach from, and I get it, like, nobody wants to go to church where they're like, hey, good news, you're all going to suffer. It's actually going to be real hard.
I mean, I kind of grew up in a church like that. I mean, like, I had a professor that did that.
Even when they preach that, though, they're still like, but in the end, it's all going to be okay. Like, it's all, like there is... Like,
no, I had a professor that definitely leaned into us. Like, this life is suffering, and then you die. Like, that was his whole outlook on life. He was I mean, he was an awesome dude.
Yeah.
It was really, but he was
Yeah.
old and
Well,
bitter, I guess. I mean, like, that's just what, I mean, he was a super nice guy,
yeah.
but anyway.
But no. I mean,
think-
actually, I get it. Like, I get him because it's like. But I will say, like, that's a little extreme because, like, there's also, like, there's not just suffering. Like, even in the midst of suffering, we've had really good times and really great things happen, and we've had we've been able to live, and it's not just been like this is hell. It's like, but it's a thing that consumes, and like you want to fix things. Like I think as a husband, as a father, as a man, like you want to be able to fix things. You want to be able to make things right. You want to be able to, bring comfort and all those things you can to your wife and your loved ones. And at that point, you just have to be like, I can't. I don't know how to do this. And that coupled with like the other reality of my last 3 weeks is that I have been doing pretty much all the things around the house and that I didn't have to do before because Callie loves to do all those things and she loves to clean and do the dishes and she doesn't love the vacuum, but she loves to ask me to vacuum. So, but so learning, like, I always have a joke. I really appreciate my wife and the stuff that she does, but I always have the running joke of like, oh, I got to do everything around here, and like 2 or 3 days after we got home from the hospital, I was like, oh, I got to do everything around here, and I was like, that's not as funny when I actually am doing all the things.
It's your reality now. Yeah.
It won't be our reality forever, but it is. It has
now.
been for
Yeah.
now. I was like, and it's really not as funny as when I did like one thing and then complained about having to do everything around here.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah.
And I think another aspect of that whole, like, can God step in and change the circumstance?
Yeah.
I think that connects to the kind of what I was learning about, or what I was saying about deepening my faith this summer,
Yeah.
of like in a way that it's not about reframing your circumstances so that you can see it in a different way, as in I don't believe that God is trying to get us to see, just be able to. I don't believe faith in God is us just reframing our situation in a different light, as in, I mean, because I've heard it, so like it's something like this. So Callie's going through all her back pain stuff, and so you have people that might say things like, well, if all of this bad stuff, all this hard stuff is happening, and it might not go away, so that you can help people in the same situation later.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a reframing of your circumstances, not a deepening of your faith. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh yeah. So that
I think
is,
I think it can be. I think those things, and this is where we start getting like into this is why God never stops chasing your heart and wants to continually try and draw you into more faith, because it can be a step towards faith, or it could just simply be a reframing of my situation, so that I've convinced myself how to look at it in a different way. I mean, like with my wife, She doesn't like lights right now. Lights give her headaches. LED lights definitely just set her
Hence
through
why
the roof.
she's becoming a vampire.
Yeah, hence step one in becoming a vampire is not liking light, which is all fun and games because natural light she loves. So whatever, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But the point is, she can see the flashing of LED lights, and it just gives her migraines. And so, you could reframe that in a way of trying to get her, and I could encourage her to try and reframe it as, well, where's your trust?
Yeah.
Where are you
Yeah.
relying on?
Yep.
Do you, every time you see an LED light, are you just going to freak out, or do you just trust? Is it a moment of trust? And I think that's just a reframing, me trying to reframe
Yeah.
her experience into my experience, because I don't see LED flashing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get headaches. I mean, some of them are annoyingly sharp. I mean, I will admit that. Some lights are annoyingly sharp, but it doesn't give me a headache.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I don't want to step into her world and say and tell her how to operate, like
Right.
because you're getting headaches, or maybe you're just anticipating those headaches, and then like that. I think that's all just reframing stuff,
Yeah.
and it's not.
Well, I think
Maybe that's the role of psychology, and that can be helpful to a point.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about faith and having faith, and
Right.
why God allows what He allows. Now we get to go to Job.
Right.
I have no idea where He stores the snow. I have no control over where the lightning hits. And He has he knows every moment.
Yeah.
And holds every snowflake. And so,
Yeah.
who am I?
Yeah.
And it doesn't help. I mean, it doesn't, like, it's not like oh, okay, well, now I feel better. It's
Right.
there is authority in this world,
Yeah.
and you have to deal with it. And I think one of the lessons that I went through, actually now I've gone through it twice. This will be the second time today I'll go through it. But one of the lessons that we had is 1 Corinthians 13, all about love, the love chapter. And I pulled the guys aside and we had a men's discussion about that, because verse 11 says, when I was a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child, but when I became a man, I put those childish ways behind me. And those childish ways, if you look at what he's talking about in the love chapter, it's patience and kindness and not being rude and not being self-seeking.
Yeah.
And not being doing anything I can to make the people around me feel better.
Right.
And so I think how I connect that to the authority is there's a lot of authority that we dislike, that we're not patient with, that we're not kind with, that we're not, we do not actually care about. We're more empathetic, we definitely don't reach out and care about them.
Right.
We've said it at camp a bunch of times, the less they know, the better it is, as far as the government's concerned. And so,
Yeah.
it's just one of those things that emphasizes to me what it is to be a man, and that whole accepting first of all, accepting responsibilities. But when it relates to authority, accepting that there's authorities above you. And when it's these hard things that you're like, man, my job sucks. Or, man, my wife is so in a bad place right now.
Right.
Or, I mean, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I can't do anything about those things except for take responsibility for what I can control.
Yeah.
And can I turn off a light switch? Absolutely.
Right.
Can you do everything around the house for a season?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like.
Yep.
And it's so. I think it's all that kind of stuff that's really hard. When you say yes to Jesus, because he says, because we have to hold that imbalance.
Yeah.
Of. Yes, but God, you could make my life easier. Well, that's pretty selfish.
Right?
If it comes to a point where...
What's the right amount of suffering? What's the right amount of suffering,
right,
Jim?
Right.
Like, how much suffering are you okay with?
Yeah. Yeah, can I show you my holes on my wrist? How about that amount of suffering?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this is what I talked about in the last podcast, because we were talking about this, the last one I did, because I'm still working through this, is that, and what you've just been, like, I think it's exactly what I was talking about too, is like, we want there to be a utility to suffering. We become more okay if we can be like, well, the reason for suffering is this, and it'll do this. And James even has, like, you know, if you suffer, you produce this, and a perseverance, which but we like to tie that. So like what you were talking about is like, well, maybe you are sensitive to light because you're going to run into somebody that's sensitive light, and you're going to make this connection. And I have some friends, and I talked about a little bit in the podcast to you that I worked at camp with, and they've just had like terrible thing after terrible thing happen to them, and right now they're dealing with a fallout in their family because of something that happened with their son, and that's all, and their family is kind of on each other's, not talking to each side, and they're in the middle, and they're just like, and I just want to be like, God, it's enough. Like, their cup is full. Like, right. I don't want it either. I'm not asking you. I'm not asking for the suffering on me, but I'm like, and they are so, but you know, and they're you know, they're 70s and 80s, and at the, you know, just following Christ all that time, and they're just like, yeah, we just know God's going to use this because we'll meet people that need to be loved through things like this. And it's like, yeah, I know, but like, like, but sometimes there's not, you know, and I think that, and what I got to in the podcast was a little bit like, you know, Jesus, so Lazarus dies, and this is a very weird story. You just have to admit that it's very weird.
Yeah.
Because Jesus is like, hey, we're going to hang out here. And, well, you guys don't understand, but you'll understand later, but Lazarus is going to die. Like, so I'm actually going to wait. And he dies, right? And so now he's like, all right, Lazarus is dead. Let's head on over there. Like that's how the story is set up. That's a little bit of colloquialism in there, and I give you that. But that's kind of like he tells he tells the disciples, like, it's better for you that this is happening. And you know, Mary runs out, and it's just like, Lord, if you'd been here, you could have saved him. And that's when you get the most famous, well, not the most famous, one of the most famous is where it says, like, Jesus wept. And I think what strikes me, and this is just, again, would not consider myself a foremost biblical scholar on language or any of that kind of stuff, but just one of the things that strikes me is that I think, like, Jesus, because Jesus is going to raise him from the dead. like and John makes it very clear that he already knows that he's going to do that. Now, whether he did or not, like there's a whole other list of things we could go through and
Sure.
but but according, just using the text as is, Jesus knows that Lazarus, he's going to call Lazarus out of the grave, and yet he's still weeping. And I do think that there is a sense that I get from that there are realities of this world, the frailties of our bodies, the sinful, the fallen world, and the disease and all that comes of that is going to inflict suffering on Jesus' followers. And I think that in some ways he weeps because at that moment, because he knew that they were suffering because of the frailty of the world, and that just like he felt that pain. There wasn't a utility to. I mean, there was a utility. He was about to raise him from the dead, but he saw how brokenhearted Mary was, and that like broke his heart to see her in that state of emotional pain. And I think there's a little bit of that. Like I get that sense, like Jesus weeps with us when we weep, because even if he's gonna turn it around and be like, hey, the reason that you have gone through this is, let me show you. Like, here, let me put something. You go, oh, I see now. Like, and sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't. Like we think it happens more often than not because we look for that utility because it helps us make sense of suffering, and we're like, if I can just find why, I can accept it. I can be okay with it.
Yeah.
And yet, like, it just didn't happen for everybody. We don't really talk about that very much because it's not a very happy thing to talk about.
Right.
But I mean, like even with Job, like you talked about that, like it's not helpful. Like Job never finds out why he has to go through all these things, happen to his family, loses, he's got these, he never finds that. God never deigns to tell him that. Like, he's like, Job, I'm bigger than you, and you're just going to have to deal with that. And that's not really a satisfactory answer, other than to say, there is a mystery to God that we do have to come to accept. And so we get back to trust. So that's something that's just, I think is just been forefront for me, and I think you were talking about that a little bit too, but it's such an interesting thing because I used to think that trust was having everything revealed and knowing the path. So like just an example, you and I obviously like we have a level of trust, and that's not because, but it's not because you've told me exactly everything what you'll do in every situation. Like if I say, well, I mean, we could just use this. It's a I mean, obviously a very meaningless example, but it illustrates the point. Like I've sent you parts to this thing I want to build, and I trust that you will look at it and do something that will be cool and fun. I don't have to tell you exactly, well, you do this and do this, and like I just trust that you kind of know the vision, and so and you don't have to tell me, you don't have to explain that you get to like we have that level of, I'm just like, no, I trust that Jim can do that. And if you have to actually, if I'm like, no, you can't work on that until you line by line tell me what you're going to do, or draw it out and then let me approve that, and that's actually not trust. Like that is not faith. That is but we think that is what we want. So we want to say that, well, I'll trust in God if he would just reveal all of his plans and just show me actually what's going on. And that's actually not trust at all. And we talk about that. I mean, a place that I work, we've had like some turnover with leadership. We are on our third CEO, and we had one CEO for 20 years, and now we're like on our third one, and that's not really a bad thing, but there's a lack of feeling of trust, but as you hear people talk, it's not trust. Like trust is not everybody is not authority. Talking about authority, it's
Mm.
not authority telling you all the things or why all the things or how all the things.
Mm.
That's not trust. That is, and the more you do that, the less trust you actually have,
Mm.
because you don't need to trust anymore because you've been told. And
Yeah. Yeah.
and so what it is that, and so there's a great LinkedIn video that I watch, and I go back to it like every couple of months because it's just so good. But it's like trust is built not by revealing secret inside information. Trust is built by proving again and again that you are for that person, or you have good intentions towards that person.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
You intend good.
Yeah.
So if you trust that somebody intends good,
Yeah.
whatever they do, you can come to accept.
Yeah.
Now humans obviously are fallible, and that doesn't, but when you translate that back to God and say, well, I trust that God is good,
Mm-hmm.
and I do. Like, I do believe that God is good. Like, I mean, there are paths you can take where you could say, well, I mean, that's kind of the trilateral argument of like, is God good? Is he all powerful?
Mm-hmm.
Then why is there suffering in the world? And there's some
Right.
people who go off of that and be like, well, then God can't be good because all three can't be true.
Sure.
And theodicy works to that. And I love theodicy, love talking about that. But like, I do trust that God is good and he has good intentions for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I lean on that, even if I don't understand,
Yeah.
even if I don't know what's going on, even if it's hard,
Yeah.
even if it's hard and it continues to be hard, and there actually is no resolution for that, and there is no utility to the suffering.
Right.
Like, and that's, and what makes it hard though is it's well, that's hard in of itself, but I think what makes it harder is like you kind of have this sense of like, but God,
Yeah.
I'm following you.
Yeah.
Like, but
Where's
God,
this
like,
abundant life that
yeah.
you keep talking about? Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and it's Paul. Like Paul going
Right.
like, no weapon formed against me will prosper. Paul, you got beheaded, dude.
Mhm.
Like, what do you mean? Like, no, nothing comes between me and God.
I mean, the majority of his following Christ was next to a Roman soldier chained to him.
And yeah, and then he starts to list all the things. He's like, yeah, so I was shipwrecked, and I was destitute, and I was beaten within, with 49 minus 1, and like 3 times, and stoned 4 times, and you're like going, like, and he's like, but count it all joy, and you're like, what are you talking about?
Mm.
Like what do you mean? What do you mean? But it's somehow trusting. And I haven't gone through those kind of trials. I'm not even trying to compare. And that's where it's like but they're still bad. They're still hard.
Yeah. Well,
doesn't-
it's hard to not, and I think that's one of those things of like we're not comparing bads.
Right.
That's just a one-up game, and that's just never ending. And so
Yeah.
I think in order to try and figure out, okay, but God, this is hard.
Mm-hmm.
So what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
And I think his answer isn't some systematic, you got to do the formula.
Right.
He uses these things so that we learn what community is. So that we learn what trust is.
Yeah.
Like, so that we learn, man, God, I just don't want to hear that you're good anymore because I hurt all the friggin' time.
Right. Yeah.
And then time goes by after we say that out loud. And he goes, how about now? I know you still hurt, but are you still there?
Yeah.
Or do you want to trust me? Because we all know the other options. The other options are abandon him and run away, and guess what? The pain still is there.
Right.
I might be able to relieve it temporarily at the cost of my soul.
Right.
you know, like,
Yeah.
and so where's my trust?
Mm. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, and again, it puts us in that Job spot. And I get it. I get the end of Job. He gets his wife back, or his wife never leaves,
Right.
but he gets
He
his
gets-
stuff back, and he gets his.
He gets more
It's-
money than he's ever had, and he's
Yeah,
blessed
yeah.
with all these children, and
Right.
yeah.
And I get it, but that's not the point of Job.
Right.
If it was, the writer would have spent way more time on that and not given us what is it, 4 chapters of God coming to Job and saying,
Yeah. 4 chapters.
have you done this?
Yeah.
Have you done this? Have you
Right.
done this? Have you
Yeah.
done this? Have you done that? Like, it's just 4 straight chapters of God being like, can you control this? Can you
Right.
control this?
Yeah.
How about this?
Yeah.
And Job just simply says, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
I am.
Mm-hmm.
You do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And so, if if I think through this summer and I think about all the hard stuff,
Yeah.
I gotta trust that God's gonna work through all of that. I gotta trust that even for one movement of a heart, all of that heart was good. It was worth it.
Yeah.
Because God is doing something. And so that's where I would push back at the even if nothing comes out of suffering.
Yeah.
Because God uses suffering somehow.
Oh, yeah.
We
I
just
guess.
might not ever know about it.
Right. And that's, I guess, I definitely want to say that is that you may not find out.
Yeah.
Like, that's the utility side of it is like, yes, God is always, for those, I mean, that's what Scripture says, right? He's always using everything for the good of those who love him.
Yeah.
But there is a sense that you may not get to see what that is.
Right. Because
you may die.
well, you may
Or
die.
you just never
or
see it.
I mean, just think, in the last 2 years, how many nurses, how many doctors, how many
Yeah.
specialists have you just been a moment in?
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's not up to, like,
Absolutely.
it's like camp. We just served, we're at, maybe 3,000 people this summer or
Yeah.
whatever, for the year. I don't know how many people, I don't know the moments of what they're going to take away. I could guess.
Right.
For some of them, I might have witnessed it, maybe. But just like your paintball guy, that was like, that game
Right.
is stuck in my brain.
Yeah.
Like, it's a core memory. Like, that's what's kind of fun about having adult kids, is we start talking about childhoods and like what they remember versus what you remember, and some of their stuff you're like, I don't remember any of that day. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
That was just a day that we went to Starved Rock. Like, I remember kind of going, but I don't remember any of that stuff. And it's a big deal in their head, or like.
Yep.
So, it's those kind of things that we forget about, or that are not good enough for us, as far as when we look at our suffering of like, yeah, but there's been witnesses that have watched you go through that suffering,
Yeah.
and it might have just been a moment. It might have just been how you received information.
Yeah.
That was like, that got somebody to start thinking.
So, yes, 2 things. One is, I do think that it's just a reminder that there's a mystery to God, as much as we think we know, as much as we feel like we're like, this is who God is and this is how he works and this is what he's doing, like, we see glimpses and we take that to be like, we see the whole thing. And I think that there's just more mystery than we, like, and the modern world doesn't, like, the modern mind, we don't like it. We want to be like, no, we've got to figure it out. We know exactly, like, what he's going to do and how he's going to do it and all that kind of stuff. So that's part of that too, like that whole Joe conversation. But then also on the other side, this is just funny to me because you're just speaking about utility and suffering, all this stuff. So Wednesday night, I don't choose the topic. So what I'm presenting on for the youth on Wednesday night is the opening of a series about food, and it's about being at the table with Jesus, and it's about trusting Jesus. So Wednesday night, that I didn't even know, like I didn't find out about it till last week. The youth minister was like, "Hey, I need somebody to step in here," and you know, Callie's finally to a place where I can feel comfortable to say, "Yeah, I can take a couple hours on Wednesday night and not have to be here." And yeah, what I have to speak on is finding peace because you can trust Jesus. So, like,
right,
you know, like, all right, God, okay,
yeah,
all right.
yeah.
Like, and it's like just all the things that swirl around, and like, it just comes back to, do I trust Jesus because he keeps giving me the good things? So like, you know, and this is like, you know, as people, like the kings that give you all the good, like, yeah, I like that guy. He keeps me fed and he keeps me, you know, but and that's what Jesus does, right? With the whole sermon, so the whole feeding of the 5,000, and then the very next thing, he's like, yeah, well, you got to eat my flesh and drink my blood, and other people are like, hey, cool, we love the food, but we're gonna check out because we don't even know what you're talking about. And you know, then he has to turn to his disciples and like, are you guys leaving too? And they were just like, look, Jesus, I don't understand any better than those people who just left, but I do know you have the words to eternal life. So where else are we gonna go? Like, we're here. Like, we try. I don't know what you were talking about, like drinking blood and eating flesh. That's not. And it's like, but I trust you because we know you have the words of eternal life, and so where else am I going to go? Like, I don't have any other option. And I think we're a little better off than that. Like, I don't think we have to continuously live our place in the desperate, like, yeah, life sucks, but I don't know what else to do, so
yeah,
I'm chasing after you. But there are times when that is just the reality of following Christ, is that you're not, like, it's just not always gonna turn out the way you want it to, and sometimes it's gonna get from bad to worse, and it's not, you know, and that's why that's why I go, I want to avoid being like, yeah, it's not because, like with Job, and that's where you find covered in joys, right? Because Job didn't do anything wrong, and it just kept getting worse,
right?
And then of course his friends are coming to him and being like, Job, just admit what you've done wrong,
right? And
you'll be relieved. And he's like, I wish I could, but if I made something up, I'd be lying, and that would be wrong. So I can't even do that. And so, like, it is just, it's part of maturity. And there's part of me, you know, talking about being a man, and I was like, there is a part of me that's nostalgia of being like, you know, God, I would like to go back to the days when I used to pray things like, if you just let me, you know, if you could just get this girl to like me, I'll follow you the rest of my days. I'll make out, you know, I'll do, like, you know, you're doing that whole bargaining thing of like, you could just do this, then I'll know you're really real, and I'll really believe in you, and I really trust in you. And I mean, there's a part of me in the midst of the not sleeping very well and sleeping in a hospital and, you know, no relief, and that's just like, you know what, I could go back to that. I could use for a little bargaining now. I could use for a little bit of like, God, just, you know, I know you can. I know you can just touch and heal. But I also know that generally you do that, and we've talked about this so many times with it's almost a dead horse to beat on it, but like generally he does those miracles for those places where he's changing. It's not just a personal. Let me relieve your your suffering. It's let me move in these people's lives or this place, and
Yeah, it's
not a
yeah.
it's not a vending machine of this of fix this because I don't like it.
Yeah, yeah. The
Um,
miracles that every miracle in our Bible, and I don't, maybe I'm just ignorant or whatever. I have too high of a definition of what a miracle would be. Is I don't know if I've ever seen one in person, but
Sure.
if I understand what a miracle is something that gets everybody around you to go, now that is God.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Starting, I mean, pick any Old Testament. I mean, that is the only reason David beat Goliath.
Right.
It's not because of his skill with it, whatever. Like, you get some of the stories that are like, well, he knew how to throw a stone.
Right.
God used him because of his skills.
Yeah.
No, God used him because he saw somebody attacking God, and he said, our God is bigger.
Right.
God, it wasn't about David, it was about God.
Right.
And so,
And also, I also point out throughout the Old Testament that miracles very rarely change people for very long. Like, Elijah calls down fire from heaven, and like looks up and and the people are like, "Oh, this is good."
yeah.
And yet, the very next day, the queen's like, "I'm going to kill him," and
Well,
Elijah takes off, and everybody's like, "I guess we're just going to go back to what we were doing."
yeah, so I love that sequence. So he ridiculing all of those prophets.
Yeah.
Your gods are on the toilet
Right,
or on
right.
vacation or whatever. He's ridiculing
Did
them.
he have to go on a journey?
Calls down, goes, all right, God, show them what they're doing.
Right.
And then
Right.
fire and obvious God kills all those prophets.
Yeah.
It's then goes into drought, or it's been in drought, and
Right.
he goes, it's going to rain.
Right.
He outruns a chariot somehow. I don't
Yeah.
understand that part.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
then he gets confronted by Jezebel, and he's like,
I'm done.
I'm the only one.
Yeah.
I'm the only one left.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm in a cave. I'm out of here.
God, just let me die. I mean, he literally prays.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so tired of this. Just let me die.
Just let me go. Just let me go.
so,
And so I mean I like that aspect of it too. Of like
Yeah.
we forget so fast.
the feeding of the 5,000, the healing of in John 8, the healing of the blind man, where they're like, and he's like, all I know is I was blind, and now I see.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all like, well, we know he's a sinner, and he's like, all I know
Yeah.
is I was blind.
Mm.
But so for him, yeah, very impactful. For the rest of the people, it didn't, like, they saw a miracle, and it still didn't, for the most part. I mean, obviously I can't trace through what all God's doing in there, but it just seems, yes, when miracles happen, people are like, oh, okay. But then it's just not, like, it doesn't have the impact that people think. Well, if God would just come do miracles today, I think some people are like, if you just do miracles today, you make it, maybe nobody's like this, but I do think there are some people. But if you just do miracles today, we'd all just believe.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the Bible itself actually shows that God did miracle after miracle after miracle, and people may
Christ
agree.
himself did miracles.
Yes.
Proof. And then even at the last week of his life, they're like, prove to us. And he's
Right.
like, I've been proving it
Yeah.
for 3 years. I don't know what
Just
you're
do one
talking
more.
about.
Just one more, Jesus.
Like-
If you'll do one more, then we'll really believe. We
Yeah.
promise, we promise, we promise.
And he kind of goes, okay, one more. But,
Yeah. So,
and
yeah.
yeah.
So, all right, you're about to have to head out of this place.
Oh, yeah. We got to start We've been talking for a while.
Yeah, it's almost 9:00.
Holy cow.
But I can't end like abrupt transition. But here we go. Would you rather?
No, would you rather?
So I saw this today, and I've done nothing but think about it all day long.
Oh, okay. A big would you rather.
Yeah.
Okay.
But mostly it's because, well, I'll give it to you, and then I'll explain why.
Better nails or better roses?
Kind of. Would you rather that Maroon 5 and Imagine Dragons be considered the best bands, and all music sounds like other bands trying to make their sound?
Ugh.
Or
This is going to be another I can tell already.
no, hold on. Or understand that the world is run by squirrels. Now the squirrels let the humans basically run the world, but when the squirrels are there, they're the authority.
What?
Would you would you rather
So that squirrel yelling at me at the tree, I would understand what he's saying, and I would have to go.
He's the authority.
I would have to go do.
Most of the time, humans can run the world, but when the squirrels show up in authority, you have to listen.
So
to
the
the
squirrel
squirrels.
that's living under our deck, in the dining hall.
Yes.
When it runs up the tree and it sits on the limb and it gives us its finger tail
Yes.
and it's yelling at us,
You got to listen to it.
we would have to leave the deck or
Yeah.
whatever.
Whatever he's yelling.
Whatever
Yeah.
he's telling us to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
It might be fun.
I actually like both, and that's what like.
I don't like
like-
both. I like.
Well,
I would.
But hold on. Let me explain.
100%.
Let me
I will
explain.
let you explain, but
Let me
I'm going
explain.
to tell you because my position is not going to change.
Hold on.
Squirrels
Hold on.
100% because I'm too eclectic. I could not handle all the music trying to sound like Maroon 5. Plus, I don't even Imagine Dragons is okay, but like
Okay. But
bleh.
okay.
Like that's not even my favorite.
But here's the problem. So here's
Kinds of
let me
movie.
explain what I'm thinking. Because here's the problem.
Squirrels would be more fun.
Squirrels would be so much fun. But here's the problem. Like, so your problem right now is that you have a. And I think this is what the question is imagining, but I'm actually pushing back again with the question of imagining. Is you have an exposure to many different bands.
Mm-hmm.
But if you thought that Imagine Dragons and Maroon 5 were the best band, so if you actually thought that, you felt that, you believed that,
Okay,
and so
that was phase one of your. Would you rather? Okay.
yes, that you actually believe that, and every other band is trying to make music like them. There is a part of me. So I'm just counterpoint
Okay.
here.
Okay.
There's a part of me where I do think that I would enjoy that, because if I really do think there's somebody out there putting out really good music, and other people are like, I want my music because I like the sound of that music, and then other people are kind of saying like, oh, I want to do that kind of same thing, but with my own spin on that. Like, I genuinely do tend to enjoy both aspects of that. So, for example,
Okay. I mean, I can kind of understand what you're saying. However,
yes,
Spotify,
I know you have been
Spotify
exposed to
even
this.
understands that even the music that I like, I don't want to hear it over and over and over.
I know. But here's where I feel like this is a true life experience.
Okay.
90s music.
Okay.
Creed?
It is the best music.
Creed,
Okay.
Pearl Jam.
Not the best music, but okay, Pearl Jam is up there on my list. Okay.
Nickelback, kind of in the same pattern. I'm not a huge Nickelback fan, but still. Who else is in who else is in the Sounds Like Creed / Pearl Jam? Collective Soul's kind of in there, like they.
Oh,
all,
you're just trying to find all the.
all the 90s that sound the same, and yet I listen to them all.
Okay. Well, that's all just alternative.
But
creeping in the.
But there was very much like I would argue there very much is a like vocal similarity through most of that.
Okay, I mean, I'll give you that.
So I'm okay with that. So I feel like I could live like I 100% agree that I would still go with squirrels because that just I don't even know what's going on there. It just sounds like more fun.
It's such a better.
But it's one of those for me that I'm like, but I also wouldn't be sad if my all-time favorite bands were producing music and then everybody else kind of sounded like them.
See, no, I
I mean,
because I don't have a favorite band,
right.
and my favorite band is probably whatever I've least listened to so far.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
that's how
Well,
my favorite music
right.
bubbles to the top of, like...
Like,
oh,
you're broken, though.
I haven't...
Like, so that, like, you break the prompt because you're broken.
I am broken. But it's still whatever. I don't care. I like that brokenness in me because you can walk into the shop and you have no idea what I'm playing. I could be listening to Michael Jackson. I could be listening to 90s alternative. I could be listening to heavy metal stuff. I could be listening to R&B. I don't really get into rap that much because it's pretty. I don't know. I just haven't found any good. There's some good Christian stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
That's as close to rap as I get, and then. I mean, it just is a revolving door of Jim. What's your favorite music? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know the names of bands anymore. Like.
I know. I was reminded that Limp Bizkit existed the other day, and so I went back and listened to some.
So I have been trying to reset my Spotify from summer because it's all Christian music all the time, and so I definitely have been listening to like Tool and all those guys have been coming back on my Alice in Chains and yeah, Limp Bizkit is definitely up there.
Can you tell me any of the actual lyrics from Yellow Ledbetter?
No. Can anybody actually tell you to No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Nobody understands Eddie Vedder when he was in Pearl Jam. And you know what? What's really awesome is when these things had CDs. Well, now they play their lyrics.
Yeah,
but I remember. I believe it might have been 10. I might have bought their album 10. And I was like, I have no idea what he's singing right now. And I read the lyrics, and I was like, that is not what he's saying out loud. Like that, there's no way he's saying that out loud.
Right.
Like that's, so I genuinely don't care. I don't care. I just like Pearl Jam.
My one of my friends from work, he believes that Higher by Creed is one of the ultimate forms of music. And
okay.
So the other day he sent me an Instagram reel, and somebody had put the lyrics or just the vocals of Scott Strapp to the sound of Careless Whisper. It was ridiculous. He was like, "Oh, it's the only way I listen to it now." And I was like, no. I like Careless Whisper too much to have it replaced with Higher. But,
yeah.
But I was a nerd.
I'm not saying Creed was terrible. It just I never bought a Creed album.
Oh, Human Clay. Human Clay is the only one I don't want to lie. Human Clay and
my cousin's made some music videos to a couple of his songs.
Human Clay was both a tape and a CD that I owned. So. And we listened to it.
You bought tapes?
Yeah, man.
How old are you?
You didn't. I didn't have a CD player until like freshman year of high school.
Oh.
Like, and that wasn't even our cars. That was
How do you like music way more than I like music? And I don't. I mean, I remember tapes, but I never bought tapes.
my dad had.
By the time I was buying music, I
Yeah.
definitely had a CD player.
No, it comes from my dad. My dad had so many tapes. He made one year. My sister wanted a stereo system, and so we got the stereo system that you had the record player on top,
Yeah.
and then you had the dual cassette tapes on the
Oh
bottom.
yeah,
And
that
so
was in
he-
our house for sure.
He recorded the records that he had onto tape, so we could listen to them
Sure.
in the truck, and then I'm a BMG Columbia House person. When it was like 15 or 12 CDs for a penny.
Oh yeah, yeah. We
So-
all did that.
So but
But
yeah,
those were CDs.
yeah, but
That's
I
what I'm
started
saying.
with tapes. My dad listened to the tapes.
But you bought tapes?
I had a few. I mean, yeah,
Maybe.
Do you remember
I think I might have bought DC Talks tape.
that
That might have been it. Like new thing.
Yeah,
That might have been
yeah.
a tape.
I had a
Okay.
few
Okay.
tapes.
Okay. I
Do you
might have
remember
had
singles?
a few tapes. I do remember singles.
Where it was just one or two songs on a tape.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I didn't buy very many of those because
there again CDs, but I was always looking for.
but they didn't have CD singles, did they?
Yeah, you could get CD singles,
Ah,
but see, there you go. That's what Columbia House and BMG taught us
yeah.
is how to look for those things, and so they instantly get, nope, not gonna do that because that's just one song, and I'm
Right.
not buying.
Yeah.
I'm not buying.
Well, so yeah.
Or going to Best Buy and rifling through all of their CDs, and you're like, oh, this one's only $5. It's because it only has 2 songs on it.
So yeah, I spent most of my probably up until 9th or 10th grade with a Walkman, not a Discman, but an actual Walkman that played
Oh,
tapes.
okay.
So, but then yes,
I was pretty young when I got CDs. When I got a CD player, I think my parents noticed that I liked music. I remember vividly on that machine, that same
yeah,
turntable,
Mhm.
double tape deck, lots of equalizer options. I remember plugging in earmuffs or like the big headphone things
Mm-hmm.
and sitting on the couch and listening to tapes. And you were attached to that machine,
Mm-hmm.
and I think maybe my parents noticed how long I could sit and just listen to music.
Yeah.
And so I think they got me. I think that was probably my introduction to a Walkman, like a CD Walkman.
Yeah, I think I was a freshman in high school, and for Christmas, my sister got, because she's the only one that had a stereo system in her room, she got the CD player was literally the size of a VCR,
Hmm.
and you could put one CD in and play that CD.
Sure.
And if you wanted to listen to another CD, you had to. And then, by the time so 2 years or a year and a half later, when I was getting into like driving, I definitely had like a Discman that I hooked up through the tape player with that whole like wire coming out of the tape, the cassette tape thing.
I did that too.
And then when I went to college, my truck had a six or 10 CD changer in it.
Sure. I think.
That you had to load. You had to do that when you were stopped though, because it was behind the driver's seat.
Yeah. I bought a car that mine was in the trunk. I instantly changed that to putting it in the. I put it in the little hand console thing.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
was right there, but.
I mean the visor with the CDs of
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I had more than a visor. I had 100
Oh.
Like one of those binders
the notebooks,
with
the
100
binders,
pages.
yeah. But then you had so you had the binder, but then you had like for me it was the one that were in the rotation. You had the binder that you put on over your
Oh yeah.
sunshade, whatever those.
Yeah, those visor things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So you put them up
there.
over that, and those were the ones that you're like, oh, I'm gonna be circling through these.
Yeah, these go through.
But then I also had the book, but because I grew up in the South, and because I'm an idiot, I have thrown away so many of my CD collections because like I went through a cycle where somebody was like, "Oh, that's not Jesus honoring. You can't have secular music."
Oh,
and so
sure.
it's all like,
yeah.
all right, get rid of all those, and then
Yeah.
I'm all like, it wasn't so bad, and I bought so.
I had a whole bunch stolen, so I had one of those binder things stolen out of my car, so I lost all my CDs there. But by that time, I had a 100-disc changer, one of those giant spinny things.
Yeah.
So I didn't lose all of my CDs. I just lost all the good ones because like whatever.
Yeah.
But a 100-disc changer, it might still be in my garage, actually.
Yeah.
I think my wife might have brought it to... I told her to get rid of it. But in my house, that just means you get put in the garage. It might have got sent to Helping Hands. I don't know, but... Because it is kind of a big, awkward thing.
Yeah. No, we were not technological forward in a lot of ways in our house. So CDs were pretty rare.
I did a lot of CDs. I liked sound. I liked noise. I remember my first stereo was one of those Magnavox little boxes with like the tape deck and the CD player thing. That you could go to Best Buy and get one of those boxes with the speakers that you could separate if you wanted to. One of those kind of things. And then as soon as I turned 16 or 18, one of those loan places sent me a check for $2,000, and I was like, I'm gonna go buy a stereo, and I went and bought a stereo for $2,000, and I ended up paying like $4,500 for that stereo because
what predatory loaning? No,
because sending a 16-year-old a $2,000 check, they are not reading any of that fine print.
Right.
I was the kid that kept those guys open for a while.
The credit card companies used to come on college campus and be like, "You want a T-shirt?
Yeah.
All you got to do is sign up for a credit card.
Sign up for it,
which is basically free money."
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, the good old days.
The good old days. Yeah. I mean, I stayed in CDs probably until. I mean, Callie and I were married. Yeah. I mean.
You had CD. Well, I mean, I don't think I transitioned over to music. Honestly, I think getting a job, going from my master's going to camp, I think that was a major cutoff of a lot of things that I did, and then I just jumped into camp, and because I mean, college killed hunting for me. I never hunted after college really until Jacob and I did it again. And then I always had music going. I was the guy. I put bass in my car. I was the big stereo guy. And then I got married, and so that kind of faded a little bit. I listened to music all the time, but then when I got a job at camp, then it just kind of cut everything off. Like it just kind of died. Maybe living in an apartment at Wheaton, that might have killed it too, because you can't really listen to loud music, and we had kids. So by that time,
I got an iPod Shuffle. Probably in 2012 or so. Maybe. No, an iPod Nano.
Okay.
I'm trying to think if I had it at camp.
I had a mini at camp. I bought it when it was old. Like, I bought it used. I don't think I bought it new. And I remember because Rick Velock was helping me with redo a ceiling.
Yeah.
And we had this weird, like somebody donated to us a China display cabinet. And so we had that in the middle room in the dining hall. And we were redoing the ceiling in that room because it was all falling apart.
Yeah.
And I put that mini up there, and Tom Dale found that mini because I totally forgot that it was up there. And I was looking for it all through the winter. I mean, that was like a winter project. I was looking for it all through the winter. By summer, I was like, it's gone. I don't know where it went. It's just gone. And then we were throwing that thing away at kind of like the end of summer, doing like, and Tom Dale was like, there's a mini up here. And I was like, that's mine. And he gave me this look like I was stealing his mini. And I was like, no, I'm serious. I've been looking for that for like a year. It was really funny. So I don't remember what year that was, but it was it was a while ago.
No, it wasn't an, oh, that's what it was. An iPod Nano. Yeah, 6th generation. That was it. When was that? When did the iPod Nano come out?
Did you buy it new?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got it engraved.
Whoa.
Released by Apple in September 2010 and discontinued in September 2012. So, yeah.
The Nano only lasted 2 years?
Yeah. I still have it somewhere. This little blue thing.
I'm sure I have the Mini somewhere, too. I mean, I'm sure it's
so,
in
yeah.
that.
So, it would have been 2010, 2012 would have been... But that was even when I was still just copying CDs onto my...
Were you at camp then?
Yeah.
You were at camp
10.
those years?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you were... When did you come to camp? 9 or 10?
9, I think.
You came in 9?
Yeah.
And then 10, 11, then you went to Texas.
Yep. Then came
12,
back
13, 14?
15.
And then you came back in 15,
Mhm.
16, 17. Well, and then all the way through 2020, right?
Right. So yeah, so I mean, I didn't start doing I really didn't 2020 2019 maybe.
This is
That's
so
when-
interesting. If you're listening to this, we gotta put a reward into listening to this.
2019 would have been about 2018, 2019, somewhere in there would have been when I upgraded phones so it actually had internet on it, and then I would listen to Pandora, and so that was kind of the gateway drug for a while.
Yeah, Pandora was my favorite for a long time.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? My phone goes nuts when it's hot out, and
Goes back to Pandora.
if I shove it in here. Just today, it got too hot or whatever, and it just started playing Jack Johnson, and I was like, "What is happening right now? What is going on?" And it's because my phone went crazy, and it just started Pandora, and my Pandora station is definitely that kind of Jack Johnson music. But
And so
all right, so
I was
if
Pandora.
you're still listening to this and you see us in person, if you say 2018, 2019, if you say that to us, I will give you $1.
Woo!
I will give you $1.
That's Jim speaking, by the way, not Paul. Paul doesn't have.
I will warn you, I may not have $1 on me, so it might be because I don't carry that much cash on me. So only occasionally do I have cash, but
I'll give you a crisp high five.
yeah, if I don't have $1, you're getting an IOU that will last forever.
And see, I was Pandora forever until 2020,
Okay.
and then 2020. So
I was Pandora until my son bought Spotify family membership that I pay for
Yes.
because he bought it with my credit card.
So 2020, I'm going to Colorado.
Why didn't you have kids, Paul? It's so fun. I also found out that my daughter did that with Netflix, too. I was like, wait a minute, what? Because when she moved out, I was like, well, I mean, it's your account. I don't care. Take it with you.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
And she was like, you're paying for it. I was like, well, then, yes, log in. Because what the heck?
Oh yeah, I don't know why we just didn't have with kids. I don't know.
Yeah, they're so much fun.
So 2020, I wanted to go on the plane because we're flying to Colorado. Just before I moved to Samaritan, I was still thinking through things. Like that was 22. That summer was crazy. That was the summer we went to Branson for the first time because I wanted to eat at Fuddruckers.
Branson's the closest Fuddruckers?
At the time, it was.
Oh, wow.
It may still be because they had one in Janesville.
That's true. I've eaten at that one.
But
It closed down.
Yeah,
It's now a
it's
gas
closed.
station.
But at the time, restrictions were still in place, and so we had to go south to find places where like we don't care about COVID, so you can come eat in person. But so we drove to Branson. I had just I don't think we've ever talked about this. I had actually just found out that I'd actually applied to go be a pastor in Pennsylvania at a church, and they had said no, and so I was like, I need to get out of this place. So we were like,
we talked about that.
okay,
I remember talking about that.
So yeah, so I was like, we're going to Branson. So we went to Branson on a whim because we've been in camp. No camp was happening. We were just constantly on the grounds, and so going to Colorado. So now we're going to Colorado, and I put in my job application to Samaritan, and didn't know if I was going to get that, but we went to go work for David Rosie, my friends who I was talking about earlier. And I wanted to have music that I did, like Pandora. I knew I wasn't going to have, like if I'm on the plane, I can't stream, at that time, I can't stream music. So I was like, so you could pay for Pandora. Hadn't paid for Pandora, but I was like, you can pay for Pandora and I can get streaming music. And I tried to do that and it didn't work. So I downloaded Spotify. And so since August, into August, September of 2020, I have never ever listened to Pandora again, and only been Spotify.
Yeah, it only comes up randomly on my phone. Like I said, when it's overheating.
Don't even have it on my phone.
Because now I have Spotify we pay for Spotify. So
Pandora, if you're listening, that's why I'm not a Pandora person anymore. Get
your algorithm was way better. I mean, I don't know where it's at now. But your algorithm was way better.
I found
just loved
a lot of good music with Spotify, so I don't know if I can agree with that because
Pandora, you're my speed. I feel like this is a Apple versus Android thing. In Pandora, your algorithm was what I want. I want to press play, and I want to listen to all the music that I want to listen to, and that's kind of what Pandora did well.
Yeah. Spotify, I don't know. I just never went back to
Spotify, you do what you want to do, and you don't care. And so I'll give it that you have all the music, so that's kind of nice, and I can kind of tell you, hey, I want to listen to this, but you pigeonhole me, and I don't like it. And your '90s music algorithms are terrible. It does
make me
like kind of finds deep cuts, and you're like, I don't want to listen to the deep cuts. I want to listen to the good songs.
It does make me go to YouTube when I want to listen to something, but I don't want Spotify to remember that I listened to it, and so I have to cheat on Spotify by going to YouTube and finding something. Like the other day, Callie and I were thinking of some song that I was like, that was from, I don't know how we, so, P. Diddy did Every Breath You Take, or
Oh yeah.
I'll Be Missing You, where
I
he
mean,
stole,
yeah.
he stole Sting's, and I was like, I'm going to play that, because I think she said Every Breath You Take, or something. I was like, and that immediately, of course, came to that song, so I was like, I'm going to play that. But I didn't want Spotify to remember that I had played
That you're listening to P. Diddy.
So I went to YouTube to be able to play it. I also did that with the Deftones because
Every breath you take. That's what that's all.
I mean, Hey B, we used to lock the flow. I laid the track. You locked. Then yeah.
Yeah.
They got to know.
Yeah.
I'll be missing you.
Yeah, I mean that was '90s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Light rap, so you can actually
Yeah.
sing that one.
Right.
It
Yeah.
actually sounds like it's not Eddie Vedder. It's the opposite.
Nothing is any better. Creed comes close, but still.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
take me higher.
When dreaming of a place, are we? We're here, we're here.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, all right. Well,
My own prison. I mean, yeah. So college, yeah. I mean, college was still huge CDs. But yeah. But
earbuds
now,
have been recent for me too.
Okay.
Like, so you and Tyler left us.
Yes, we did.
Graham and I,
Yes,
just
yes.
to be loners out at camp,
Purposefully.
and we 100%. That's when I started doing earbuds.
Okay.
No,
No,
No, not quite yet.
When we cleaned when I was there, you definitely had. I actually bought earbuds because you listened to music while you were cleaning to your earbuds, and I was like,
I
"That's
started
a great
the thing.
idea." Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I mean, that might have been 2020. I guess if we were cleaning, then it might not have been. But
I mean, sometime around there. But you also we had that because you had like some kind of Apple thing, because we had that from the whatever that place is where you get all this stuff. We had an iDock that you would carry around with you everywhere, and you would play through the iDock.
Yeah,
Because it was like a clock or something.
Yeah, that's still in my house. I saw it. My wife still uses it. It's got a permanent little iPad or iPod on it.
And I was never an Apple person, but now I've
And here we
gone
go
over
now.
to the Apple
Yeah,
phone.
so that always had that's when I was using iPods, and then yeah. 2020. I'm pretty sure 2020 is when I started the earbuds, because that's when I started really diving into woodworking,
yeah.
and that's what got me to find the earbuds.
I mean, you did have, because I know in cleaning, you had earbuds. Because I definitely was like, oh, that's a good idea. I should bring some of my earbuds then. So I can't take credit. I think you had that idea.
I might have started it, but anyway. So that's
I think so.
somewhere around there,
maybe not.
1920.
Maybe not. It was you were playing. I mean, there was definitely a time when you would play like a podcast or something, like just straight from your phone or iPod,
Sure.
like in the room, because nobody else was in there, and so like I could just. So maybe earbuds was me. I don't know.
Well, I just know that has.
Yeah.
I told the staff that 100% changed a lot of actually how my brain thinks about stuff. Because now there used to be winters where I'm just lost in my thought, like days that I'm just lost in my thoughts all day,
Yeah.
and now that doesn't that only happens intentionally instead of just like every day.
Quiet the noise.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
if
you've made it this long on episode,
then you should probably get your earbuds out your ears and go do something. Well, hopefully you've been doing something important this whole time.
Technically,
because if you're just sitting listening to us, you should probably just join us.
Yeah.
Just come on the podcast.
This is not how time works, but there's a part of me that wants to go for 11 more minutes.
11 more minutes.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Because then that would be 300, which would be 2 times 150.
So, in 11 minutes, you can't cook a pizza in 11 minutes.
No.
You can preheat an oven in 11 minutes.
Do you preheat your oven?
For what?
I mean, just in general, when you read the instructions, you're cooking. I don't know,
Depends
pizza.
on what I'm cooking.
Okay.
Frozen pizza? No, because it's gonna heat up faster than cooked the pizza. So I don't really see the point.
Okay. Do you wait for the oven if you are preheating? Are you like religiously like waiting for the oven to actually tell you it's time to cook?
Yeah, because they'll turn it on and it beeps at you when it's ready. So
ours doesn't do that.
I'll go do something else.
Okay. Well,
Until it beeps at me.
Ours doesn't do that.
Oh. Yeah, if it didn't beep at me,
Yeah.
I'd 100% just turn it on and then be like, that's close enough.
Okay.
Because there again, whatever I'm putting in the oven is not going to heat up at the same speed as the oven.
We also don't. I would also have to admit that thinking about technology things, we don't really use the oven much anymore because everything.
We as in you? Oh,
like
you guys?
Callie
you
and I
guys just use the air fryer?
Yeah, probably 90% of the stuff we do. We don't have a microwave anymore. Well, we do, but it's in the closet. Like it's been bad, and we're keeping.
Your microwave and your coffee maker have made
Yeah.
poor choices.
Yeah, that is true, and they both are thinking about what they've done in the closet. And,
you go to the closet.
So yeah,
Well,
we just found that we like things heated back up in the air fryer better, and so it was like, why do we have a microwave? And the one argument I can make for a microwave is microwave popcorn. Popcorn is my ultimate favorite snack, and not having that to microwave has been a bit of a downer.
We 100% eat way too much food.
Yeah.
So the air fryer is not big enough for us. So we have a convection oven, which is, guess what? The exact same thing.
It is.
So
But we don't, and we do have a dual. So ours, we have two different buckets that you can cook. You can either set to cook at the same time, or if you have different times, you can start one and tell the other one to finish at the same time. And so and it'll do different things and different temperatures. So, but we're
okay. Well, that works for you guys because you're two.
yes.
But here again,
Well, now you guys are two.
kind of.
Ish.
I mean, maybe.
Sometimes
My wife
you're
and I
two-ish.
have very different eating habits, so that'll be one of the weird things. We didn't have to deal with it at summer because I don't eat at home at summer. I mean, like I'm always eating at the dining hall.
Yeah.
But that'll definitely be a weird thing to try and figure out because she will 100% throw down one of those vegetarian stir fries, and I will be like, okay, well, I'm gonna add a hamburger to this.
Right. Yeah. So, so here's the question for you. Does Rebecca still listen to the podcast?
I believe so.
Okay. Because, this is episode 150. So
150.
So we know Rebecca. Marshall used to as well, so...
I think Marshall does every once in a while too.
Name the people that listen to the podcast that
true.
I know.
That's true.
My friend Jeremy.
Jeremy, who I met and know.
Yeah. Who you have known.
I have known.
But you didn't know that you knew.
But you said Jeremy, and then because camp is camp, I can't just associate that all together. And then when I saw him, I was like, Jeremy, yes. I know Jeremy. All right.
My friend Ross from work, he listens every now and then. Oh man, My Uncle Johnny, I know he generally listens.
I've tried to listen,
Yeah, I don't.
but then I hear my voice and I
Yeah.
go, nope, I'm not
No.
listening to that.
No, I don't listen.
When yours pops up, I try to,
I mean,
I listen to that
I am
sometimes.
super excited because I am still doing lyrics from Postal Service album and songs as my
Okay.
titles. So
Okay.
still moving on that, but I try to. Yeah, I mean, those are like the. There's other people that listen, I think, but I don't know them. I do think there's some people who listen to it religiously in like California. Like I know my uncle does. He's out in California. Well, uncle through Cali's side of the family. And,
Oh, okay.
You know, I know he's listened to it. There's some people in Texas.
Reach out to us.
So-
Tell us you listen.
Yeah. So if we didn't name you, sorry. Melissa, a girl that was in my youth group, I know she's listened to a few of them. So, like, I mean, there are definitely there, and then there's definitely just random people who listen to the podcast. So
11 minutes, right there.
we're not quite there yet.
Oh.
Yeah, 5 more minutes to go.
What?
So yeah,
That was only
yeah,
5 minutes.
yeah.
6 minutes.
So yeah. I mean, yeah. It's just it is sometimes like, and when I was producing it more, there definitely was times when somebody would be like, and say something and be like, oh, and I don't really know how to like interact with you because you listen to the podcast because I don't expect anybody to listen to it, and then when you're like,
These are crazy. I'm just saying, if you're listening this long to Paul and I, you better be doing something productive, like cleaning your house or doing something, and we're just noise in the background.
I mean,
because-
Jeremy like listens to it usually on his way to work, which is only like a 4-minute journey. So imagine how long he's gonna have to
Holy
listen.
cow!
How many times to get
Some
through
of
3
these are
hours of.
Some of these are going to be a long time before you hear us.
So,
I wonder how many he's listened to and just kind of hopes his phone just keeps playing it. You know, when you get out of your car and sometimes randomly it just kind of keeps playing and you're like, what? But he has his volume turned all the way down so he doesn't. I wonder how many
100% of them.
he's
That's
just
my
been
guess.
like,
My guess is 100%.
please be the day.
It's like,
Please be the day that this works all the way through to the end.
every one of them. Everyone he's been listening to, he's like,
Please let me get out of the car.
when will this end?
I was teaching Sunday school after I got back, so I went to Colorado for a conference, came back, my truck automatically syncs to my phone. I was teaching Sunday school the next morning, and I paused, and my book was playing on my phone, because my phone sometimes just goes, yeah, you're going to keep listening to this book. It was so distracting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody else really heard it,
Right.
but I was like, sorry guys. It threw me off. It threw me off.
Well, what I can say is, with his last 2 minutes, is that if you have listened to an episode, it's an honor that you've listened to anything that we do. And this was not, I think I started this in 2022. Never thought I would keep doing it all the way to 2026 and beyond. And I definitely never thought I'd have 150 episodes and 5,000 downloads. I mean, like I said, last year I had 753 total.
Yeah.
We've already tripled that in this year. So, and maybe it's all AI, and I'm okay with that.
And we don't care.
No, I don't make any money from this, so I don't edit this. Like I do get.
However,
emails.
if you could come talk to us and say, hey, we listen to you, then we might start caring,
Yep.
actually. And it
Yep.
might be less of this rambly stuff that we do.
I do often get people that email me and
I
like,
really just use this as an excuse to get together and hang
Yeah.
out with my friend Paul.
"Yep." I always get the email people and they're like, "We could increase your audience." I'm like, I don't think you can. Or maybe you could, but I don't make any money, and so you're gonna want me to pay you money, and that's just not gonna work out because I don't pay money to do this, so I'm not gonna pay you money to do stuff.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we just throw it out like seeds in the wind, and hope that sometimes I don't even promote it very well on my on Facebook. I'm just still like, blah. This
That
thing is
true.
here. Blah. Jim's in it. Blah.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I sometimes share it on my Facebook. That might be when Marshall listens, actually, when it hits Facebook.
I have at least 100 Facebook fans on the Unbroken Ground Facebook page.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I'm not saying they all listen to the podcast, but they all at least liked my page.
There's a page. I'm probably one of the fans.
I don't know. But you have to get to 100 in order to get certain information. So
Oh, okay.
I was like, I gotta hit 100, and then I did, and I was like, it's not super helpful. Cool, but so I haven't got much further than that. So, all right, you got 3 seconds. Go.
Trust in the Lord
Okay,
and lean not on your own understanding.
perfect. I can't top that. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next month, most likely, or you'll hear us next month, or maybe not. Maybe this whole thing will just end. Thanks, Jim.
Bye.